speakers don't blow. I'll keep going till my speakers don't blow. I'll keep going till my speakers don't blow. I'll keep going till my speakers come. I'll keep going till my speakers come low. 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 Till my speakers come. I'll keep going till my speakers come low. I'll keep going till my speakers come low. I'll keep going till my speakers come low. I'll keep going till my speakers come low.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these restless nights, all these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of ain't it Beijing, man, ain't know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and roll Lex account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brothers since 6th grade. G-Wagon red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could light the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. But you know,
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. How will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Full power, get louder. I'ma get strong, just watch me. Full power, get louder. I'ma get strong, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. Gonna hear my song, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. I can run this town. Somebody give me the key. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. No more doubt about me. Oh, I can run this town. Don't you know I got the Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. The way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
going till my speaker calm blows. I'll keep going till my speaker calm blows. I'll keep going till my speaker calm blows. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my speaker calm. I'll keep going till my speaker calm blows. 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 Going till my speaker calm blows. I'll keep going till my speaker calm blows. I'll keep going till my speaker calm blows. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my speaker calm. I'll keep going till my speaker calm blows. 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 I'll keep going till my speaker calm blows.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and Rolex account or blue face. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brother since 6th grade. G-Wagon, red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. Pacino.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, and Kidia.
Hello and welcome everybody to the grand finals of ESL Challenger League Season 50 Cup 3 here in the Oceanic region. And I am joined by the one, the only, and the absolutely incredible, might I say, Elfish Guy. How are you today?
Doing pretty good. Once again, we get yet another Rooster and SemperFi grand final here in ECL. And it's not just ECL where we've seen these two match up in a grand final. It's CCT, it's Extreme Slam qualifiers. It's pretty much everything under the sun in Oceania. The only event where that didn't actually happen was the Defrag Open Series, and that was because Rooster was still overseas at ESL Pro League, though I imagine had they been here, they would have been in that grand final as well. So it's very much a rivalry that has been developing, and it's got quite a storied history, bit of back and forth, and we'll get to see another chapter in that book today.
We will now. SemperFi, they come into this with maybe not an advantage per se in the series, but they have won the previous two cups, which means that if they win again today, there is only one opponent potentially that will be in that regional final that they'll have to take down for a Pro League spot. So they win this cup, they win the next, they automatically qualify. So today would be a nice little win to thin out the herd even further.
Yeah, most definitely. And also, if you've been kind of keeping up to date with what's happening in Oceania, there's a good chance that this Rooster roster may not exist after this match. There's word on the street that ASAP and TJP might be on their way to a newly formed team called Thunder Down Under. That will not be a team that I think will be able to compete in the next season of ESL Challenger League, just because they'll be too fresh. Unless there's some way that they can come through an open qualifier, it may be potential. But that would have to obviously be quite a long run. So I think looking at that then, in that case, if Rooster doesn't exist, the run is pretty clean for SemperFi in ECL Cup number 4. So if it's going to happen anywhere, it's probably going to happen here today, right now for Rooster. And to be fair, there is a bit of a precedent that has been set by Rooster that they can beat SemperFi. They did so in the Extreme Slam qualifier, which was on LAN, and then they beat them in the very next game they played, and that was also an ESL Challenger match. But unfortunately, their most recent match, they did lose to SemperFi. So it's kind of been a bit back and forth. It's been a little more back and forth lately than what we've seen historically between these two teams. It had been pretty much just SemperFi winning it all. Now there has been a little bit more to be said for Rooster, but even still, I think you very much have to be looking at SemperFi and saying they are the team that should be taking this grand final, and it'll be Rooster that's looking to cause the upset.
Yeah, exactly. And we talked a little bit before this started, you and I in the green room, about this likely going 3 maps, or the possibility of this going 3 maps. And then we mentioned, the CCT, they played a best of 5. It did go all 5 maps, but you weren't convinced that it should have.
Yeah, I mean, the way that it started, it kind of did look like that was going to be the day that Rooster actually broke the combo of wins that SemperFi had been putting together, right? They won those first 2 maps. They won it 13-5 on Mirage, 13-8 on Overpass, and those have typically, historically, been the 2 maps that we have seen between these 2 teams. We probably will get to see again today. At least we'll definitely get the Overpass there from Rooster. I think the jury's out a little bit more for SemperFi as to what they can opt to pick. They have a few more options. Will be the Inferno this time around, so we may end up getting the Overpass as a decider. Nuke potentially as a decider as well could be thrown in the mix there. Like I said, there's a few options here. It is going to be Nuke this time as that final map in the pool. So Overpass, Inferno, and then Nuke. Mirage banned away by SemperFi. But yeah, like obviously looking at that BO5, like I said, great start to that series for Rooster. Thought, okay, there's a good chance they can actually clean this up, and then they got reverse swept, and that's obviously a pretty tough pill to swallow. So not necessarily going to be a factor here. It's a best of 3. If you picked up the 2 maps, then it's going to be easy done and easy as you like. But Inferno is a bit of an interesting one from SemperFi because we haven't really seen them pick into that in many of the more recent series. Perhaps a little bit scared off by the time that they did pick that in the Extreme Zone qualifier where they did lose it. So I would have honestly been maybe expecting to see the Mirage come through here a little bit more so, but either way, again, like I said, a pretty decent amount of options available to SemperFi. At least there's no surprise when it comes to Rooster. They're always going to be going towards that Overpass.
Yeah, I think the Inferno one's an interesting one because, on paper, they've got a way better win rate. I think Rooster only sitting around a quarter of the times they play Inferno actually taking that map, which, looks really enticing when you're looking top down, when you're looking at it in a very one-dimensional approach. But then, as you said, you break it down, you look at when they've played each other, and more questions start to be raised about whether that's really where you want to take the veto. But I think maybe looking just to play the numbers, they've got a couple more reps on it than Rooster, not by a whole lot, but they've definitely had a whole lot better showing across the board. They've had maybe a little bit more time to talk about what they've got to do this time, where they were maybe lacking in previous, because it wasn't a complete blowout when they played on Overpass. I think it was a 13-7, but still a lot of room for improvement. And this is the place to do it, isn't it? Yes, it's a grand final. Yes, you want to be taking the victory, but ultimately you've already got 2 cups secured, so you've got a little bit more leniency to be experimental, to be entrepreneurial with how you're approaching the veto and the maps you're playing against, essentially your main component in this sort of circuit.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, speaking of this circuit, we can look at the amount of times that they've played against one another this year. So over the 10 months that we've had, really 8 months, obviously, because the year takes a little while to get going. First match they played was back in February. They played 12 matches, 12 series, and only 2 of them have been won by Rooster. So not a great conversion rate at all. Obviously, there's been some roster changes over the course of that history. Most importantly, or most notably, the recent ones of SemperFi, the additions of Addict and Hazza. And those 2 are obviously, some really, really experienced players within the NZ scene, quite storied. They have certainly got their reps in, and that definitely shows in this lineup for SemperFi, which I think has been going from strength to strength since that change. It did sort of show a little bit of a dip, and that is where those 2 wins came from for Rooster, right? That was just after the addition of Addict and Hazard, so a little bit to kind of work through there. But other than that, it's kind of looked like a pretty flawless record for SemperFi. So I think with all of that information in your mind, you kind of look at it and say, well, even the 2 wins that Rooster get, which, again, in comparison to the 10 that SemperFi has picked up, is not a fantastic conversion rate. There's already kind of a little bit of a caveat there as well with the fact that, it was after the roster change for SemperFi. And so I definitely find it hard to sort of paint a picture here that Rooster are going to be able to get themselves the dub. I think they can make this series close, as they have evidenced in almost every single matchup. There's very few actual matches that have gone 2-0. In fact, that's only been more recent history. Every other time it's gone all the way to 3 maps. Even the best of 5 they played in the CCT final went all the way to 5. So we would expect on paper a really close match, but SemperFi to edge it out. So I think that, again, maybe what we're going to get tonight. Also, not to mention the fact that, again, there's this question over where is Rooster as a team going to be headed in the near future. You know, how much are they investing in this match? Have they continued to prac? Are they still, you know, trying to come up with new strats, new setups, new ideas, or are they essentially just going to kind of like ride it out with what they'd already had prepared? And in which case, you know, SemperFi are going to be very, very aware of what they're going to be doing on Overpass, because they have played against them, I think, almost every series in the last sort of 3 months, couple of months at least. They have played the Overpass there, so it should be very, very obvious for SemperFi what's coming if Rooster haven't changed things up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This was when we did our game the other day. The match that you highlighted should be really good. This has been a rivalry for a while, so I'm really glad that I get to be sort of in the passenger seat for this one. I think Overpass being first up is definitely going to be a little bit of an interesting one. And I think that realistically, in my mind, if SemperFi take this, it does kind of feel like this series might be a little bit more of a quick affair. But, I mean, Rooster were looking pretty good on this map the other day. I've been having a little bit of a look at the demo viewers to see how they've been playing this map. And I think there's a couple of areas that SemperFi might be showing a little bit of weakness, especially in those full buy. Seems that the lack of options in how they've been executing might potentially cause some eyebrow raises. But Rooster, as you said, maybe they might just be coasting by. We're not 100% sure. Jury's still out on that one. You'd hope maybe they want to put a little bit more fire into this one. But if everything's switching up, if they do get that spot in the regional qualifier, then it does raise some questions about when all of this is changing, if that's going to matter too much as well, looking at the long-term implications of what a victory would even mean for them.
Yeah, 100%. I guess we just kind of have to go into the game and see what we're going to get. Again, you know, I think there's a lot of chatting that we can do about these two teams with the historical matchups that we've seen from them. But my typical kind of gut feeling for this matchup has that it's always been a very winnable game on both sides, and it does often come down to which team turns up on the day. And, you know, we've seen if Rooster turns up, they can win against SemperFi. A question that we will have to answer, obviously, over the course of today is, will they be able to do it again, or will, once again, SemperFi be able to lock it down? And we'll find that out in just a minute or two. That's the pre-show done and dusted. We'll be jumping into our first map of Overpass in just a second, so don't go too far away. We'll be back in just a minute. Rightio, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on in as we head into our grand final for the ECL Cup number 3 in Oceania. Of course, it is Rooster and SemperFi. They'll once again be taking one another on Overpass, and Rooster, as a result of it being their map pick, will be kicking things off on the T side. Pistol round, getting off to a slow start.
Yeah, very slow start indeed. Keen's going to have a little bit of a nosy here and might potentially find himself an isolated fight. ASAP is no longer alone, however. Peeks out first. There's the first frag. Ducks away there, trying to lure them in. Spotted a second player. Now actually just going to hurl himself back up connector. Not really wanting to lose his life. So far removed from any possibility of a trade. He's got his pick. He's got his advantage. He'll be happy with that.
Yeah, again, no real trickery here from Rooster. It's very standard setup to send ASAP down connector, even on these pistol rounds, and so SemperFi very prepared for that. They deal with it accordingly. Keen gonna look to get aggressive in the bathrooms here, but he might have bitten off more than he can chew, and so he is gonna have to back out of there. Doesn't really get that opportunity though, as he is chased down by Terry and Chell, and so will fall, giving it back to the 4-on-4.
Time 30 seconds. There's 2 players on this site, so a quick overwhelm and a bomb plant needed, but any resistance they face here could be detrimental.
Oh, Terry looking for the taps, but he's going to wait for that flash as Addict does kind of receive it, but still the shot's coming through, more so this time from Shady and Savage. It's on to Slimy, and he's not good enough to convert the 1v3. That is a solid pistol round pickup for SemperFi.
Yeah, lovely stuff. That flash over, I get a little bit worried that Addict is just going to go down there, that they're going to sort of use that as the floodgate opening. But no, I can't quite capitalize off of what is an amazing flash. 3 kills found in the blink of an eye leaves absolutely nothing really for Slimy to try and find there. Time was low, and that's going to be the thing, is that you leave it so late to execute. You leave yourself with so few opportunities if you face any sort of pushback, and that they did. And in this round, looks like they're going to go limited utility, knowing that no bomb plant means likely no buy, and they're just going to go heavy into the arsenal here.
Yeah, SemperFi might get a nice easy start to this map. They can clean this round up comfortably, build that money up, be in a good spot. Rooster is as Rooster does though, and they do tend to like a little bit of a slower approach. Maybe in this instance, hoping that they can bleed out a bit of that CT util. To SemperFi's credit, though, they're not really feeling the pressure, so not feeling as though they need to drop any of this util just yet. Now some footsteps headed in the direction of A, and that's dealt with reasonably well. Let's see if Addict can come scurrying up and retrieve that MP9, that M4, I should say, for the MP9, and he has been able to do it. So, realistically, not much of a loss there for SemperFi. They just drop one gun, which ultimately ends up being an SMG, so no big deal.
Exactly. They don't need to farm the cash anymore. They can just go into the weaponry, especially now that they're going against this full buy. They're going to want all cylinders being fired upon. And for Rooster, they've now got guns. Where do we see any sort of a pace change on this one? Because the slow approach has yet been unsuccessful, but it is early days. They have been unarmed relatively, and actually a lot more pace in towards connector this time. Molotov just to force anybody off this corner, having a little bit of a peek here. Nobody's home though. Spray through the connector doors, gonna get Shell on edge, but actually there we go. The peek on out isn't gonna see anybody. Has to clear this little corner, not gonna spot anything. Now it's taken a little bit of a foothold for his team, should they wish to pivot into him.
I think they might.
I think they might.
ASAP certainly on his way. Smoke again for Monster from SemperFi. So just playing the delay game. SemperFi happy to try and slow things down. And I think Rooster also pretty okay with this. That's an awkward timing for Chell, but he's not going to be punished for it. A little bit of a wayward spray there by Savage. Does start to maybe give up the game a little bit, that Rooster are thinking about hitting that B bomb site. Do see Addict coming across in transition. He's going to reinforce the site, and he might well become an important factor here as the push comes through from the monster tunnel. The grenade does a great chunk of damage. That's well timed by Addict, but still going to need to see some frags come through here for SemperFi, and the smokes are really making it difficult for them to see anything. Molotov pushes Savage back as well. In that meanwhile, Addict goes 1-for-1, which won't quite be enough to hold onto the side. Bomb plant down now as well for Rooster. They are looking very low across the board. TJP and Slimy a sliver away from death. Terry at about half needs a headshot here. Can't get it. One's going to come back in the other direction. Now it's just TJP to try and hold off the SemperFi forces. Good start to that, but no finish as SemperFi will make that retake happen, and 3-0 on the board.
Yeah, very difficult round there. The smokes make it almost impossible for SemperFi to do anything about denying that bomb plant. So suddenly the timer on their head. And the issue is Rooster kind of get a little bit burnt by the smokes when they're trying to find these punishing trade picks there after the bomb goes down. So a little bit of a messy one. The smokes give them a little bit of an edge. It's all sort of a bit of an on-site brawl, but... As you said, SemperFi coming out on top. We have had a little bit of a disconnect amid, so we're going to be taking a little bit of a beat here. But maybe not necessarily a bad thing. After the chaos and the confusion that was that last round, a second just to take a breather, because that was very adrenaline-fueled there. It wasn't much... there was no HEs to blow open the smokes. It was very much round a corner, spraying, maybe somebody jumps out at you. It's very quick reactions needed on that one. So taking a second here, not a bad thing, I don't think.
Yeah, super well done from Addict, though, in that previous round. Just gets the nade down at the perfect time, and I think that's really what kind of disrupted that for Rooster. With a bit of extra HP, you know, they might have won another one or two of those aim duels toward the back end, might not have felt as under pressure to take the fights that they did. Who knows what a difference that could have made. That I don't know, it felt like it was like 200 damage off of the grenade.
It did, and there was a flash.
That much, but...
There was a flashbang as well that got thrown in before, so there was no way that they would have even seen it coming is the worst part. You regain vision, you're like, guys, where's our health gone?
Yeah, exactly. Well, a little bit of a decision to be made on the behalf of SemperFi for this upcoming round. Keen typically has been pretty eager to get that AWP in hand as soon as he can. I've seen him do it pretty early on in the halves on the CT side, but you have to wonder whether or not SemperFi will even just change things up here, right? Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I think is a good mentality. You obviously, in that instance as well, run the risk of giving the AWP over to Chell, and obviously Chell is someone that can, on his day, kind of take the game away from you. So if he gets a free AWP, then you never know. Big smiley face.
Staring at us. You've gone positive with that. I've gone it staring into my soul. Now, I think we might be heading to a little bit of a break. We've had some tech issues, so what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that all of these players are in the server and ready to put on a performance for you. So we'll see you guys very shortly when everything is fixed.
I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my till my feet become. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. 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 Till my speaker come. I'll keep going till my speaker come blown. I'll keep going till my speaker come blown. I'll keep going till my speaker come blown. I'll keep going till my speaker come blown.
sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came.
Rightio, back on into the swing of things. It was a little bit of a tech issue on Hazard's behalf, but that's been all sorted out. Swallow, as you can see, 3-0. SemperFi picked up the pistol, they picked up the first gun round. Now they're dealing with an anti-force. We've got that hero AK out for Slimy. We'll see how Rooster opt to negotiate this one.
Yeah, need to find maybe a couple of picks here, a couple of picked up weapons. It's not like they are completely unarmed, unarmored, so you can find something early on, or potentially they just minimize casualties and they go for a little bit of a rush at the end, overwhelmed with numbers. But for now, again, very quiet, sort of shuffling their pieces around the board, as you said, in traditional Rooster fashion, but they've got to deal with the upcoming threat looming on, realistically, both sides for them.
A bit of toing and froing. Having a little look into the bathrooms here is Rooster. ASAP leading that. I don't think you could necessarily describe it as a charge.
Very slow charge. Sort of a meander.
Progression. Well, smoke's coming across now, and I think the pace will pick up here. Insend out from Keen is going to start to cause issues, but Terry's Deagle also causing a bit of a concern. Addict has a double kill. There's another player on long. The double up at long, a bit of a problem for Rooster. Slimy needs to clean this up, and he needs to do it now, but Shady just holds the spray, and it's all on Chell. Oh dear, now low HP is Shady. 4 HP is all that he's got. That pistol comes out for Chell. He's going to be bold. He's going to push his way forward, and Shady will not be prepared. A 3-on-1 from Chell to get Rooster their first round. Well, they needed something like that, and like I said, that AWP goes into the hands of Chell, and he can make a difference. It's exactly what I posited. Should King buy the AWP here? Should he just buy the rifle? Does Chell get that done with the rifle? Well, I don't even know if he gets through that kill against Hazard, but either way, that is the first round on the board for Rooster, and it's a big one from Chelios.
Yeah, shotgun AWPing, and it's lovely to see, but, you know, you can't relying on the individuals, but you can use them as that catalyst, that leg up, the springboard to get yourself into this. And you're right, Chell on the AWP, looking good. Could he have done it on the rifle? Well, maybe, we'll never know. Keen AWP of his own here. It's not got the most of a support system around it. There's the opening pick, though. Shady, so aggressive, and now actually going to climb up the slide. You're going the wrong way up that, mate, but is punished. Chell there, however, can't quite take that AWP duel. Keen already got himself out of dodge.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be the difficulty for Rooster. If that's what it's going to take to win you a round, then you're probably not going to be able to string too many together, because we're not expecting that from Chelios every single round, and just as soon as it feels like it starts going for Rooster, it seems like the door's going to slam shut in their face. There's another kill in there for Savage with the Deagle this time. Everybody contributing at the moment for SemperFi.
Yeah. ASAP has a nice position here for one, maybe. If people aren't looking, might be able to find a second. But Savage, oh, it's beautiful. It's a clean shot. It's about an end to that. Bomb is still on back here, but Chell kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place in terms of actually getting towards the site with it.
It might even just be valuable to hold on to the AWP here. I don't know, how does he clear this angle onto Savage? He's got the pistol out, but the 50-50 doesn't go his way. And so, for all the excitement that we get from that previous round, it seems like it's for naught. 4-1 the score, money getting back to awkward territory for Rooster. So they are just going to half buy here and try to get the money back in line for a good buy next round.
Yeah. Worth doing as well is that you could try and force it, but then you leave yourself spread even more thin across even more rounds. Sometimes you gotta take a hit to come back stronger. Actually just going to push through this smoke. Has a completely blind, still manages to find 3. Slimy has found a trade and has managed to break them out of this choke point, but there's still more problems waiting for them. I say that, dispatch of Addict. Slimy's got another one as well. Weapons picked up, but still looking a little bit too much to ask for, I say. But Shell, maybe the hero yet again. Missed AWP shot's going to give away Keen's location. Switches to the rifle, and Shell with the Tech 9.
Oh, wow, this is vintage from Chelios. He is just absolutely turning it on. The last couple of rounds, you can literally put down to him and him alone. I mean, Slimy does contribute there, to be fair. He gets that sort of second entry into the B bomb site, so some credit due there as well. But, man, Chelios just absolutely turned this game on its head. 4-2, and again, it will have to force a reinvestment from SemperFi that they're not going to be too keen about. They don't have a huge amount of cash on this CT side at the moment. Rooster are trying to pull themselves. Shell's trying to pull Rooster, kicking and screaming through this T side at the moment. It's got to break at some point for one of these two teams. They need to put 2 together though, Rooster.
Yeah, and this very well could be the round to do it. Shady's got a lovely angle. There's so many boosts here that's so confused. And actually, I think Shell backing off there. They've seen enough. They've had enough. They know that there's, at least 3 people having a little bit of a mosey over towards B. So you might as well hit A whilst the iron is hot. And ASAP going to be the one leading the charge here, taking the space for his team to follow up slightly later in the round.
Oof. Oh, ASAP does not want to be going down right here. Terry won't clear the corner. Oh dear, that's problematic. ASAP somehow has been able to get across. Shady not liking that. Famas wants the AK. It's not quite going to do enough to shift the needle, but back to the 2-on-2, and there is going to be a flank coming through. Has tucked himself forward past that Molotov. It will be again cleared out by Chelios, who seems like he can do no wrong at the moment, and Savage is miles away. So bomb plant goes down, and this time we need a clutch out of SemperFi.
Yep. Savage, a flash, and a Galil to get it done. Ooh, spotted out, has the first fight, but is not going to be allowed to isolate anything more. All attention will turn as he crawls on forward, but it's going to be Slimy to find the pick there. And you asked it. You said, can they put 2 together? We need to see them put 2 together, and that is exactly what they have delivered. Next, same-day delivery even. But maybe not the greatest buy to go up against. SemperFi, they're going to have to take another bit of a hit on this one, so that will probably tie up the scoreboards pretty nicely. But we were looking for a clutch. We weren't going to find it. And again, Shell, huge steps there. Always impactful in the frags that he's finding.
Yeah, SemperFi wolf packing it in this round. To some success, you'd think, here, as ASAP's got a bit of a job to do and does it reasonably well, but can't hold on to that AK. Now in the hands of Keen. I mean, he's very low. He doesn't have any armor. Don't think he's going to really be getting anything done with this.
Bomb has been planted.
A little bit of extra damage might be nice.
Yeah, a little bit of extra damage would not go amiss. Slimy. And a little bit of a hunt for this. Shell. They kind of just playing ping pong against the wall there with it. Spraying away. He's not going to find anything. Keen, very low HP. A single bullet will get the job done here, but he's running out of bullets himself, and there it is. Shell to follow up, just padding the stats even further. Another 3K.
Well, scoreline's equalized, which was not necessarily plan A, I guess, for SemperFi. They wanted to get this one wrapped up nice and quickly, head over to the Wurstholler Biergarten, and then have a nice quick evening. But looks like once again we're going to have another close match between Rooster and SemperFi. 13-4 from Chelios. And he's forgotten the bomb.
Yep. Happens to the best of us, but, at least they realized early round. Savage, lovely line of sight for the first. Going to drop back down instantly. Nades go in, and actually that's going to be a whole host of damage done, but not quite a pick. has a little bit of a spray just warding them off, but actually undeterred, Rooster do continue to hold the line here.
Oh.
Getting jump scared here.
That'll be SemperFi after this one, I reckon. Things looking okay for them. Hazza, got to be careful. Has been able to dump his util. In fact, he gets the entire team's util dumped alongside his, and that has pushed Rooster away back out of the monster tunnel. In that meanwhile, Shady has made a very fast flank, and he is liable to do this sometimes on the CT side of Overpass. Rooster have seen it before, and Chelios is aware of it, but Savage peeks at the same time, gets himself one once more. Headshot onto TJP, won't quite finish him off. 2 on 3, but 2 very low players for Rooster.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been a recurring theme, is that they've been going for these swings and they've been doing really good damage, but SemperFi, they just haven't been able to really confirm a lot of these kills that they've swung out on. So much damage, but realistically, it needs to be 0 on the HP bar that they walk away from that with, and it just hasn't been the case. It's been a little bit haphazard. But now they feed on up to this site. Keen is lying in wait, but now that the bomb's going down, he's got to make the first move. TJP might just be here to punish Addict. He is watching his back, but how long can he watch his back for?
Well, TJP is definitely on the way. So the longer this takes for SemperFi, the worse it's going to get. The backstab is definitely coming through, and I think they're going to have to neglect to check that any further. So this should just be a free round. TJP for one. He's jumped and reloaded, and somehow he's survived for a moment. Addict is not going to be able to get away with the round, though, and that is another up for Rooster. This T-side's definitely starting to come together now.
It really, really is. We talked about this kind of feeling like a map that we really wanted to see Rooster take in order to make their mark on this series and give themselves at least a fighting chance to take this the distance, to take this away. And they've just given us that. 5 rounds already on the T side is nothing bad. And they've still got rounds to play with here, still got time to work with. So it's a great start. They force SemperFi back onto another sort of messy buy. The orb's still available, but it's got nothing really around it to bolster it. So it's going to need to be the statement piece of this round. And Rooster, they've got a chance really just to widen the gap and run away with themselves here.
Yeah, it's surprising how quickly this game has turned back on its head. 2 really big rounds from Chelios, and all of a sudden SemperFi are quaking in their boots. Yeah, again, down to a pretty awkward buy, really relying on Keen to get something done with this AWP, I guess. He's not in a particularly aggressive position. They've kind of gone for the gamble stack on B. Left Shady up to his own devices over toward A. He's set up at Sandwich with a 5-7 in hand.
Yeah. Okay, here's gonna be the first little bit of action potentially. I say the smoke's still there doing heavy lifting. Rooster, no contact made whatsoever. There's not been a point of damage from the HEs yet. As the smoke fades, has going to be the first to be tested. And there it is.
Terry down.
With the first. Yeah, Terry's down. And now, oh, the flashbang is so good. Everyone's blind. TJP somehow gets the reload in. Addict, a huge save there onto his teammates. And now just ducking his head on down, Slimy pushing on forward. Oh, spots ahead, but it's too late. And it's a messy bite to get it done immediately to swing back into this. They don't want this lead to extend.
Yeah, that's a really rough one for Rooster. Just making the wrong call. They go to the stacked bomb site. 4 players of SemperFi there. You know, Rooster get the 2 kills on the entry. They think, okay, maybe there's one more, but in fact, there was 2. And both Savage and Addict able to strike with those MP9s kind of on the late peak, I suppose. Catching Rooster off guard, turning that round back around. And stabilizing this half somewhat. No money in the back pocket for Rooster. So if they lose this round, SemperFi could very well go to 7-5 because they have no loss bonus.
None at all to speak of, and that would be a harrowing way to end the half that looked so good and so strong for a while there. Keen actually ducks back away. It's going to be a little bit of a mercy there. They crawl over towards mid, where they have faced precious little resistance, actually.
Addicts, toes tickled. But he still gets the headshot there onto ASAP, and you've got Keen alongside Shady, ready to set up a nice crossfire. And makes for short work in that round. Like I said, no money available to Rooster, so that hard work that they have been putting in this half, it looks like it's probably just going to fall short. I mean, 7-5, like 5 rounds on T side of Overpass is definitely not a bad shout.
Not at all.
But it felt like at one point it could have been more.
It was gearing up. It was that, you know, previous couple of rounds that have slowed them down a little bit. This is not really the way that you want to end the half at all, but it's the way they're going to have to end it. We've seen a couple of eco rounds already come on through and stolen away, so it's not beyond the realms of possibility. But again, lovely presence over towards this B site. TJP's going to get ahead of all of it, maybe a little bit quicker into construction than they're ready for.
Head over the top, does catch TJP. Is this a patient approach again for Rooster? Maybe just waiting to see if SemperFi are going to go hunting for a little bit of information into short water. See if TJP can knock a head off with that Tech 9 at close range. They don't have a lot of options here, Rooster. They've only got 2 smokes and a flash, so whatever they do decide to do is going to have to be perfect.
Okay, perfect is what we are demanding, and patience is what we have been receiving. Keen's got the first, so that puts a little bit of a pin in the plan here, and actually they look just to fall away, head back in towards Connector, and just go literally anywhere else now that they know that AWP is here and waiting just for them.
35 seconds left. 2 smokes. So, best case scenario here is Rooster. I guess you're setting up a wall of smokes on the A site and hoping you can get the bomb plant down. Pop flash will slow things down. Grenade will slow things down. SemperFi already rotating their way up. Numbers are here. Wow! That round just disappeared. SemperFi up to 7, and Rooster don't quite manage to convert the rest of that half. But 5 on T side could be enough. We'll find out when we come back for the second half.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these restless nights, all these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of on my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and roll Lex account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brother since 6th grade. G-Wagon red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could light the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When it done bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just...
Okay, into the second half, and we'll see whether or not that is what Rooster are going to be looking like after this map is done and dusted. CT side underway now. Pistol round starting well, but TJP trading back. Addict, quick up bathrooms. TJP has heard that he is in a spot of bother. He's got to worry about Savage coming in from behind, and Addict in the bathrooms. The USP will claim Savage, so 1 for 1. About as good as you could have hoped for there for TJP. Meanwhile, though, progression into the B bomb site here from SemperFi. This is a war that's waged on multiple fronts, and Rooster have no real idea of exactly what SemperFi are doing.
The flick there onto Hazard. Blimey, what a shot. Now opens up the opportunity, the numbers advantage. Have to go ahead now. Keena's going to get heavily pressured. Only good for one hit, but Addict, there's the trade. Now going to go around the world. Knows there's unlikely to be a kit to has the time to play with.
Chell's sitting that defuse, but he's going to have to sit it for a good while longer, and Addict will not give him that opportunity. So the CT pistol will go the way of SemperFi. There's both of the pistol rounds on the map going the way of the current ECL OCE champions. They picked up cup number 2, and they look like they are on their way to picking up cup number 3 as well.
I am seeing an SMG that's a little bit unusual. The MP5. Don't get to see a whole lot of that.
Where's the MP5?
Hazard.
That is an MP7.
MP7.
That's an MP7. Yep, but it is close enough, because you're right, it is an unusual one. We don't often see the MP7. Either way, I would back Hazard to know his way around the gun.
I know that on the...
Funny story.
Oh, the funny story? Okay, tell me.
Oh, it's a long one, actually. But MP7 from Tyloo back in the day, very, very infamous amongst these circles. But we don't have time for that now, because SemperFi are trying to make their way in the direction of Chell, and he just says, no, thank you very much. I'm not buying what Keen is selling. He gets a headshot onto TJP. That's not who you want to be hitting. Savage, meanwhile, doubles down, and so that's the round done and dusted. It was looking so good. Chell got a great start onto Keen, but then he shot his teammate in the back of the head.
Yeah, unfortunate there. He ran out of bodies to shoot on site. He just went for the nearest target, locked on, and now Shady has a little bit of an angle here to work. Spotted a head in dumpster, so he's got to be careful, but Addict's going to be the one to sort of follow up on that information. And I think it's just the call to save here. The back away, hoping that, you know, these MP9s, they're not the greatest thing in the world to save, but they are something at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, you can do a lot with a little when it comes to MP9s.
True. And on the CT side, you can post up on these sites, try farm a little bit of cash at a worst case scenario.
Great start to the half, though, for SemperFi. It does have to be said. Let's have a look at this for Chell. Definitely looked like he was going to line up another one, but just not the one that he wanted. So...
And it was a headshot, you know, and with the scout, it would have been a kill.
Yep.
Tragically. Shakespearean level of tragedy there, I think. Because he finds that they've got 2 versus 1 on the site there. They've taken down another player, and they've still got 2 of them alive. It hurts a little bit, you know?
It does. But they can't dwell on that for too long. Keen up close and personal here is going to make short work of ASAP with that MP7. Double kill. It's still getting its value.
First 2 MP7 kills I've seen in years. And I get it on the CT side, you know, MP9 got nerfed substantially. Not in any way that makes it bad, but got nerfed a little bit. So I understand on that side, but on the T side with the Mac 10, you know, it's a choice. It's a stark choice.
Bomb has been planted.
Yeah, it is. I don't know, I feel like I see it occasionally in Oceania. It's not too unsurprising.
I mean, you did promise me chaos in this region, and it has been delivered.
Yeah. I mean, Chelios is killing everybody. Teammates, enemies. He is living and breathing that chaos.
Absolutely. Unfortunate there. They are just going to have to sit and watch that bomb timer tick down, but Shady's found yet another pick here. They're not going to let this go quietly. Actually, there's a very real chance for Keen to find a little bit more, but actually I don't think he wants to peek too much and overtip his hand.
He just wants to keep a hold of that prized possession, you know?
I don't know why,
MP7's
but,
doing
you
work.
know, you could upgrade it, but no. You got to have a signature, right? You've got to have a flourish of some description. It's brand identity, isn't it?
Is he going to hold on to it? Surely not.
I already think you're feeling. You very well may have. Yep, still got it. I mean, there was no reason to get rid of it. You finished the round with it. There's no point buying a weapon if you've already got one. Even if your economy's in a fairly nice place. Shady with the first. Trying to take some space here. He's just going to post on up. His teammates heading elsewhere, but gives them a little bit of room, a little bit of a safety net, pocket of air to breathe over towards construction. Just going to call over some of his teammates, and lack of information has called some of the CTs away from B.
I want to see some more MP7 action, Keen. He's got the bomb, so he's probably not going to be the first man in. Just going to be the guy tossing all that util. As I said before, trying to fake Rooster out, pull them down to this B bomb site, but they're going to walk back in the direction of bathrooms, which is where Slimy and TJP are making an aggressive move. So they're going to walk right into this setup, and this could still go wrong for SemperFi. Keen needs to check bathrooms. That job done by Addict. He sees 2. Savage will fall as well. Big round from Slimy as he gets himself 3, and now Keen trading out that MP7. We'll be able to trade 1 for 1, but it's all on Shady. Gets an important first kill. Can't follow suit for the second, and that round has fallen apart for SemperFi off the back of a rough mid-round call. If they would have gone B, they would have won that round.
Yeah, I think it's very weird. They've taken this space, they've got all of this foothold in construction, right? And then they suddenly decide, like they'd been possessed, they run up connector to somewhere that they have no control, no information about, and then just run it straight down mid, not even clearing out bathrooms particularly effectively. They try and wrap, realizing they've got a huge issue in the middle of their plan, and then it all kind of falls apart when they can't find any of the kills. A little bit of a weird decision to pivot so quickly and haphazardly, and it does get, you know, the price is paid for it. Now they've got weapons again, they can immediately fight back into this one here and hope maybe not to make some of the same mistakes. They're actually heading long this time, which is an area of the map we don't get to see SemperFi actually go a whole lot when they play this map. So curious to see if they are going to be able to work something off the back of this long control.
Well, Savage, he's been spotted. Hasn't really brought much of a fanfare with that information, though. Not a whole lot of moving and shaking happening on that CT side. The 2B defenders happy to stay where they are. TJP sort of floating back and forth. It's still very standard stuff out from Rooster so far. Addicton has to decide to walk out this smoke. They're going to be in a world of hurt, but the flash could be what enables that. Slimy tucked in the corner. He fired half a second too early, gave away his position, gets finished off. It's 2 for 2 on the entry. Now Addict, sharp headshot onto TJP as he tries to transition back up into the site, and ASAP and Terry don't really have much of an option but to save. The money is so poor on Rooster's side that they can't really afford to throw these guns away.
No, and they're getting towards the tail end of the map here as well, is that there's not really too much room after this. You go 11, you've not got much into the next other than these, and then suddenly the round's over, the map's over, and you have conceded your own map pick. Whether they'll even be allowed to save the weapons is another matter. Keen's got something he wants to say about the matter, but unfortunately, he gets told off for talking back. Addict is going to go look for the trade, but is not going to be presented it, is just going to tuck in, hold on to this for now. No point losing your minds over, you know, a couple of measly rifles.
Yeah, but I think the problem is going to get a little bit worse for them, as the scoreline has now crept up to 11-6, and that is starting to get a bit problematic.
Yes.
It's a little bit too close for comfort. You lose a round here, you don't have enough money to buy, it's GG. So Rooster are going to have to go on a pretty nice streak of rounds here to keep this competitive. Otherwise, we're going to be seeing a really solid SemperFi win on Overpass, and typically what follows that is a SemperFi victory.
Yep. You win the first map. It's been 2-0s every time they've played in the past couple of weeks at least. Other than, you know, that CCT, which we said went the distance, but seems to be recency bias suggests 2-0s are on the forecast. But opening pick there onto Hazard. There's not even anything close to a response that they can issue right now for that. And the utility... The Welly utility runneth a little bit dry here. Realistically on both sides, but one more execute left in the tank. Taking a bit of space over towards water.
Be hit in the making. Terry tucked in the corner. Keen hoping for a free pick. It doesn't look like he's going to get one. Nobody peeking him. SemperFi just going to try their hand at this B take. ASAP does go down. Terry gets himself one, but no more than that. Shady spamming as he gets out of that smoke, gets at least that entry, and Keen is doing so much work from short with the AWP that this has now started to slip away. Bomb plant does go down. Addict almost loses his life. Slimy puts us back into the 1v1. And an Addict has at least gotten off of the bomb site. Slimy looking for him. This smoke causing a bit of a ruckus. Over the top of the smoke, though, Slimy will keep the dream alive for Rooster.
Yeah, lovely play at the end there. The spray is so good. And the fact that HP is so low left at the end there. The bomb goes down, but it feels like a very, very tainted victory. And then Slimy's got the AWP available, can keep that rolling into the next round. And yeah, on the brink of destruction, they do manage to close out that round. And actually leaves the money in a fairly uncomfy situation for SemperFi. And that does mean that there is a way back into this. They've kept them off of that dreaded map point, and that's the goal there, is just to keep that out of their hands for as long as possible.
Once again, pretty default setup for SemperFi. Player to watch Monster, player to watch Con, couple of players to try to work Fountain. Shady leading that charge. He's got Keen behind him. Actually taking quite a bit of space on the top side of the map here pretty quickly, SemperFi. That is going to force Rooster back in a moment. Slimy is still hanging around on the long side of bathrooms. So Chell will work his way in that direction. It's a fairly unorthodox defense here for Rooster, just taking the space that they can hold and trying to work with that.
Yeah. Slow and steady wins the race. Slimy has a lot of control, but somebody's kind of already got ahead of where his control lies. Has to be wary, though. Might get caught unaware if he wants to go for a little bit of a cheeky pick here. Shady doing so much just by existing there, but has to be careful because his team is now executing down on that B site. And ASAP eats that nade, he activates, and Shady, unfortunately, lovely position, comes to nothing, amounts to nothing. And his team's on the other side of the map. Maybe it draws a little bit of attention away, but it doesn't even really seem to have done that.
Has a long spray down from both. Terry loses that duel. He'll be disappointed with himself. Should have been able to pick that one up. I don't know that that's really going to do too much. 5 seconds left on the clock. SemperFi will just save their guns through to the next. And we'll go again. But with not a lot of money.
Yeah, the money is going to continue to be uncomfortable. And we talk about this economic damage, is that economic damage is great when there's still rounds to play with. And the fact that they're not on map point here is amazing because it's just going to keep them on the ropes there. Even with loss bonus, they are just being kept humble, being kept in this kind of weird armory limbo. And it has been being abused by Rooster here. They've got full equipment, they've got everything they could want and more. Savage forced into the fight and expand the first pick. The stack, however, is going to be amazing, but has a even greater. ASAP weapon out is only going to be good for one, though, and immediately the switch up. Bomb goes down, and I mean, you can tell Slimy a little bit confused as to where his team have melted away to.
They have just disappeared, haven't they? Like butter on a hot pan. 11-8, and very shortly looks like we might be headed in the direction of 12, but for some heroics here from Slimy. He doesn't have a lot of time to work with. He has at least got the kit, but he's got no assisting util at all. He's going to have to just send it here, but there's no chance. They have not peeked him once until it's too late. And that is 12 on the board for SemperFi. Rather anticlimactic way to bring it up there. That round just was over before it began. And unfortunately, with that, maybe Rooster's chances of doing anything in this map as well, because money is very tight.
Money, very tight. They had a good streak of rounds, but they were kept pretty on a tight rope through the whole thing, which means they've not built up that economy. They've not built up the bag to really come into this with the full level of firepower that you'd want just to try eke this out a little bit longer. Has a straight away causing a little bit of nuance, a little bit of chaos in that B site. Attention being held very distinctly. Chell in connector. Very passive hold for this though. Has a little bit of backup from Slimy there just to make sure he's not peeked from behind, but actually seems that SemperFi have absolutely no intention of over-aggressing this.
Yeah, Savage on his own for the moment, just clearing out connector, but Addict and Keen will be joining him shortly. Chell's liable to get himself one here with the 5-7. Just a little bit of a whiff. So he'll go down. Meanwhile, Hazard does get pushed through the monster tunnel. Keen's going to turn around, have a little bit of a look at that, but ultimately decide that he's got more important places to be.
Okay, back in towards mid. They barrel. ASAP running on up. Slimy's got the first. Ooh, almost a second there. It's a lot of damage. TJP tucked in on this corner. It's not going to be a quick enough swing to deal with him. Keen, there's the trade come on through. HE to go over, to go deep, but it's only going to tickle ASAP, and Terry activates from behind, and now Keen stuck in a very difficult situation as to win out both of these fights. Swings on out, and Terry will collect. And we said that it wasn't an amazing buy, but now exactly the same could be said for SemperFi. They are going back and forth with this.
Yeah, it's not done yet. And we'll probably be going another as well, because SemperFi are going to have to recover their economy. We'll have a tech pause as well.
Yeah, this is unfortunate financially for both of these teams, isn't it? Which I guess it kind of levels out a little bit. Is that SemperFi are probably going to have to take a beat on this one, and then next round we'll finally have a bye. If they lose that, then we're running out of rounds to work with here. But Rooster, they've just not really had the money in a position to make this half all too competitive too often. But it means that both teams have been struggling on that front, and it kind of almost cancels out.
Rooster had to take it to an OT yesterday to finish off the series against Mindfreak. That was on Nuke. And it came off the back of ASAP dropping 38 kills that they were actually able to finish that series off. We don't have quite that same performance from anybody here on Rooster, but just in that last round, Terry picking up himself a nice 3K. He's been a little bit quiet, a little bit slow in this match so far. So if he can find a way to activate in these last few rounds, maybe that will be that missing bit of firepower, that little X-factor difference that Rooster needs to get this over the line, at least to take it to OT.
Yeah. It's just one more that they need. It's one of those that we've seen a couple of rounds where somebody accidentally lines up a couple of kills, or Cello accidentally, in inverted commas, takes off his teammate's head. That one, it's an unfortunate one. I'll joke about it, but yeah, that one hurt a little bit, and that would have been a really nice round for them to have found, sort of very momentum shifty kind of round. But yeah. We're going to be hanging on. And this is the worst round that it could have been on for Rooster, right? Well, maybe not. The money's not great for SemperFi, but hanging on a tech pause when your opponent's on map point is like staring over the edge of a cliff.
Yeah, not sure what this tech pause actually is at this stage. Just waiting for that confirmation from the admin team.
Big up, Legals.
It is an awkward time to be getting a tech pause through, isn't it? By the way, I mean, at least while we've got this time to wait, we can look at the buy that SemperFi have got here. Across the board, they have invested. So they're going to give this one a crack. And off of the back of a tech pause, they will have had plenty of time to talk about what they're going to do. Oh, selling now. So maybe just going back and forth on whether or not to buy.
Well, because it's a tech pause, they're not allowed to speak. So maybe this is the communication.
Are they not? Because what can you do about that online? Do they have admins in the voice servers? Like, obviously on LAN, yeah. But I've always sort of thought that online it's kind of like, well, there's nothing you can really do to police it, so...
I'd have to pull up the rule book, I'll be honest with you. That might be, a nice little, like, midnight read, late night read with some snacks. Go over the ECL rulebook.
That's fun.
I thought that coaches weren't allowed to talk, but I think you're right. It's a difficult one to police, so I'm not sure. Maybe they are. But either way, it gives them a second just to take a breather. And now it seems that the weapons are back in their hands.
Yep. Similar buy, same buy actually. Galil and a Mac 10 and then 3 Tech 9s. They've had all the time in the world to think about this at least, if not talk. And that might just amount to a very quick B hit. It certainly looks like that kind of buy, and it certainly looks like those kinds of movements so far from Rooster, although there is some delaying util. Savage has managed to get his way up on the short. ASAP and Terry making short work of this round. Rooster not going to be faltering here by the looks of things.
No, not at all. Okay. Low HP on both these remaining players. A single bullet. Hell, even a gust of wind too strong could take them down. Ooh, Shell with a missed shot, but I have a feeling he's not going to miss the second. I mean, I'm sorely mistaken. Is indeed going to miss the second. Ian with signature weapon on hand, but no health to do it. And a minute still on the clock. It's a difficult one that they probably won't mind sending a little bit of a pack of wolves after you, but how far are they willing to commit to that?
Well, it's not a lot of money for Rooster at the moment, so I think they probably don't want to lose too many of these guns because, look, even if, they continue to win, they are going to still have to continue to reinvest, and if it keeps going down to one gun or something like that, then that may still become a bit of a problem later on.
Could be.
So they're just going to let Keen survive.
Yep. Get a nice little second. And now this is a great time for them to have a little bit of a talk as well here. Is you know that you're just going to be saving. Yeah, Keen's got to keep his attention on staying alive. But ultimately, you get a little bit more time to plan out your next steps, your next moves, which hopefully will... I mean, so close. You're kind of rooting for Rooster to make the comeback when it's this close.
That AWP, though, is a nice find for Keen. So we won't see much of an investment in this round for SemperFi. They save their money here. They can get a buy in what would be the final round of regulation. So it doesn't really seem likely that they're going to get too much done here. But again, Keen having that AWP, it is going to be a bit of a threat. If he can start it well, find a couple of picks, then who knows where this goes.
All right. A couple of picks needed. We're watching his perspective. No one's going to be moving anywhere near him yet. So the quiet starts the round. A little bit of a spray and smoke goes out just to deny any sort of vision, any sort of trickery going on here. And it's very, very passive. Not even looking at taking any map control for now. Just sort of huddling together near spawn.
Yeah, hoping to set Keen up somewhere. Got Addict with a bit of util. You know, everything in this round is about Keen for SemperFi right now. Trying to give him a few opportunities to try to find a pick, and you know, he's definitely trying, but he is not being given anything. Rooster are playing very back in their sights.
Good way to starve them of information, to starve that remaining AWP that you know is there, of any opportunity to find impact, to find some weapons for the rest of the team to play with.
Time's up. They've waited as long as they can. 30 seconds left on the clock. You've got to make a move. There's a big kill for Keen, but they don't have long control. That said, that is going to be another weapon. It's an AWP in the hands of Shady. They know they've got to worry about long. Transition coming through from Rooster. I mean, it's not unthinkable that SemperFi could win this round right here if these AWPs are able to connect.
Out of utility, though, a single flash remaining, which means TJP, is going to have absolutely nothing, but that flash goes so huge. And unfortunately there, Shady taken on down, fight isolated, and Keen not able to get another bullet in the chamber in time. It's just Addict left, 1v3, and he has not been able to find a weapon. He's going to hear the defuse tap, knows he probably has to peek to make sure, but here's a second time. This time it's being stuck. Going to go on, try to kill the defuser, does indeed, but there is a kit available, and there's just enough time for them to hop back on it, but it's not without sucking your breath in a little bit.
Yeah, that was a little bit too close for comfort there for Rooster. I think the thing is, if SemperFi could have had that long control, you know, maybe had one of the AWPers get out onto long and feel safe there, could have been a difference maker. But the fact that both the AWPers were kind of stuck on the site, you know, very difficult to sort of pivot around with those AWPs at close range like that. So Shady got nothing. Keen only got one. He got instantly traded before he could even fire another bullet. Now we're into the final round of regulation. This is the big one. This is for Rooster to make it to OT. SemperFi have everything they could possibly want.
Yeah. There's a will, there's a way, and they have worked their way back into this one. A little bit more aggressive this time. Keen with an opening pick. Needs to not let this be re-spiraled back onto them. In hoping somebody else going to show themselves. Nobody really going to give that fight. We see almost an alignment on the X-ray, but walls in the way will deny. And Slimy's having a little bit of a jump spot. He's not seen anything at all, though.
Yeah, nice to just slow things down a little bit here. SemperFi letting Rooster cook. But to be fair, Rooster are not responding to that pressure by really dumping a whole lot of util, making any over-aggressive moves. To their credit, they are backing themselves here, and with 50 seconds left on the clock, it seems like they've kind of read into the fact that SemperFi are playing a very, very slow T-side here. So there is so much counter util right here for Rooster that I think they might actually win this round.
There is a very,
got
very
3 on
good
A.
chance. Yeah, 3 on A and all of the util to deal with it. And Shell's found the first pick here. TJP's burning alive, but he runs forward into another fight. Still burning, but Shady's going to find that one. HE dropped over the top. Shell's got another one, and they're not even expecting Slimy. They don't even clear him, and by the time they realize he's there, it's too late.
Yeah, this is all on Keen. He's going to pick the pace up. AK needs this dual win, and he gets it. It's a one-shot headshot that's required onto Terry, but he's got no idea that he's up at Truck, and that is going to be a round 1 by Rooster. As we said, you know, just enough there in the back pocket for Rooster. Chell getting the important pick as SemperFi tried to progress their way up into the A site as well, making the world of difference. An extra player there for SemperFi to trade down would have probably won them that round, but Rooster, hang on.
Cling on for dear life, and they've bought this back. And if you'd asked me, you know, about 5 or 6 rounds ago, if I saw this going A, 3 maps, or B, even to overtime, I would have said absolutely not. But couple of really well-placed picks win them rounds and destroys SemperFi's economy, which means they're kept on the ropes just enough. And in rounds like this, they have just too little utility to make this competitive. They don't, you know, have the opportunity to clear that angle, so Slimy gets a multi-kill, and it's all just falling into place. And where we go from here, that is a whole other matter.
Yep, certainly a big question mark. I mean, you think about the difference that those clutches from Chelios make. The first half, we saw back-to-back huge rounds out from him, a 1v3, and then he was involved in a 2v4 as well. And that was enough to get Rooster up to 5. Had those rounds not gone the way of Rooster, this would be a map done and dusted, and SemperFi would have picked it up. Would probably already be on Inferno by now. But Chell pulled his team kicking and screaming through that first half just to have the pleasure of sitting through a tech pause before the OT.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, we're here to play. This is the last match of the cup. We want to make it last as long as possible. And it's a lovely map as well. You know, we talked about the beer garden. We talked about the Verst house. Sure, enjoy the scenery for a little bit longer, you know. But here we are back into the round. In we go. Terry straight over, hurling himself to go have a little bit of an early peek, potentially, you know, just to throw the Molotov and wait. That's a little bit of a flash come his way in response, so it's going to send ASAP to have a little bit of a look. Actually, no, they're just going to run boost over. Completely blind, but nobody's there to spot it either way. Slimy's had a bit of a look up long, but Rooster, they've had absolutely no intention of going long this whole map.
Slows down again, SemperFi here, losing that first player. Keen dropping the 30 bomb in regulation, by the way.
Crazy.
Which is a huge number. Used to talk about the 30 frag being, you know, kind of a really, really good game in MR15. Obviously, it's even more impressive in MR12.
Yeah. Dug back in there. That's a... Does want to have a little bit of a look, but he's just missed the timing on that. Now he's going to activate. Flash goes over, but he's not able to find anything off of it, so he falls back. The ebb and flow here, but the issue is that they do have to make a move at some point.
Terry's hiding right inside of the monster tunnel. SemperFi rerouting toward short. Now 20 seconds left on the clock. They are going to need some damn fine entries. Pop flash going through there for TJP. He'll also get himself a kill onto Addict, but he might have his hands full here. Luckily, he gets another onto Hazard. And he's covered off nicely by Chell. First round of the OT does go the way of Rooster.
It does indeed. There's been a lot of these as they've had some very sly peaks on out. It's felt that SemperFi, a lot of the time there's been a couple of angles, a couple of players that have just been overlooked or angles and positions overlooked, and multi-kills have just been plentiful for Rooster because of it.
Run it back. What if we get another slow round out here? I mean, both teams playing a very, very slow style on the T side. It is starting to drag a little bit, this map.
Yeah.
Everybody getting tired.
It's only map 1 as well. If this goes 3 after a map like this, it is going to be it's going to be a test of stamina. Okay. Savage finally crawling up connector here, but the issue is that Rooster is so far back, we're still not going to get a fight. I say that. ASAP goes down. ASAP's the only person that's nearby. Hazza waiting. Chell. This is a risky one to peek here. Realistically for both sides, but Hazza finds the leg, finds the frag. There's a response, but has unfortunately opened the floodgates to the site, but a well-timed Molotov pushes Hazza back. But that A site is realistically where this final resting place is, but Hazza's run another one on the B site, so now kind of the world's their oyster.
Important round for SemperFi to pick up. We're very happy with that, finding the equalizing round, keeping some of that pressure on Rooster, just reminding them that they too can win rounds here. It's been a decent spree from Rooster, but yeah, this final round of the first half of OT could be a big one. SemperFi, if they can nab a second on the T side, they'll put themselves in a good spot. T side rounds have been pretty hard to come by.
Yeah, they have been few and far between. And considering that I think both of these teams, especially SemperFi, technically have a slightly better win percent on that T side, this has been a little bit of a step out of the norm. Keen completely unaware, and TJP's found a second.
Yeah, that's just aggression from TJP. You know, he's decided to make an individual play, and he's beaten Keen and Shady one by one, one on two, really. They were not expecting that kind of a play. They were not expecting someone to be that quick up long. And to be fair, why would you be? I mean, Rooster have not done that at all. So, perfect time to pull something like that out. It just catches SemperFi off guard and really throws a spanner in the works for this round.
Spanner's in the works, and Chell looks like he wants to put another bullet into the works as well. Terry to double down there, and just Savage left, and he's peeking the worst angle known to mankind. Chell on the other side, and he will not miss a shot like that. And that is Rooster going up at the half in this first overtime. I say first overtime because there's a non-zero chance that we see another.
It's going to have to be a perfect CT half from SemperFi if they want to close it out here. Just the 2 required for Rooster. But just the 2 might not be quite so easy now that they're on the T side of the map. So plenty of money in the back pocket once again for both teams. They get everything they could possibly desire. And we see Rooster back on T for the first time in a while.
All right. Here we go. Another slow start, at least for Rooster on the T side. SemperFi getting a little bit more pushing and pokey with that information gathering on their CT side. Not by nearly any metric that matters. It's still relatively quiet. 30 seconds go by and there's not really been all too much contact.
Patience a virtue when watching these two teams.
Patience indeed. It's almost like meditation with how long we get to have a sit and think during each round.
Shady, you can see here, very aware of his position, not letting that gun barrel stick around the corner. But Terry, ready for him, gets the better of Shady. Opening kill goes the way of Rooster, although it does cost Terry nearly all of his HP.
Yep. 2 HP in a dream, and to be honest, the rest of his team around him, so not too bad when it's all tallied up. Molotov over is going to force Hazza back a little bit, and Actually, by the time that they execute, he's already back into barrels, although a little bit worse for wear. TJP spraying, spamming away. Savage has got the first, but Slimy, Terry, they step up hugely to find these difference maker kills. Keen smoked off the angle. It's a little bit of a rotate up to Sniper's Nest, and Addict needs to find something big here, needs to not just go down in one. Give the opportunity for some activation.
I mean, he's got a nice timing. He might just get checked by that player at Monster. Yeah, Terry watching for it, but Addict was able to get so much space. You could sense that there was an opportunity. He had too much to check. And so it is going to be Rooster. They're going to go up to 15 on map point now. They've got 2 bites at the cherry.
Yep. 2 opportunities. All you need to do is deny 2 in a row from SemperFi to stop this going another overtime. And it's looking pretty clinical all around here. A couple of the individuals that we highlighted from SemperFi teetered off a little bit here. Keen, we sung praises of only 2 rounds in that overtime, and you can't be relying on the individuals, but you need to be relying on something. Something needs to change.
Yeah, maybe Shady getting a little bit more aggressive in this round could be that something. ASAP's made a footstep. He's made another footstep. Shady well aware. Multiple members heading in his direction. It's not going to help him. The information is coming. Let's throw some bullets. So 4-on-4, not too bad as far as Rooster is concerned. That's going to start to break open the CT defense a little.
Gonna be heard ASAP. Sprayed away through the wood. That's gonna hurt tomorrow. Savage taking a little bit of fire in exchange as well. TJP really wanted that peek, but the flash comes on through. However, Slimy's got his back. There's the pick that they need. 3 versus 4, and this is a little bit harrowing here. Damage done, but unfortunately ASAP's found another pick. 2 versus 3 now.
Yeah, Savage quite low. He's going to take a little bit of a risk, and I think that's a wise decision. He needs to take some space somewhere. Rooster are working their way into the site. Chell's going to be able to cross and plant. No, he's not. There's a grenade waiting for him. Keen, though, gets his head tapped off by TJP, who's just come online at the back end of the map. He is the overtime warrior, and that is going to be that. TJP finishes it off for Rooster. Map 1 in the books. It was a hard-fought victory on Overpass, but a victory nonetheless. So Rooster will be thinking about the possibility of a 2-0 here against SemperFi.
Yep, I mean, they've had a couple of 2-0s recently. They've had a 2-0 against the SemperFi team in the past month as well. And to be honest with you, it was a shaky start to the map, but the fact that they bring it that far, that they make a comeback, and that they deny anything in overtime is really nice going. And very passively played, but it feels like SemperFi, they got a little bit too aggressive too late. They just didn't have the information to work with to properly adjust.
I think it was more just a case of Rooster really were not online, it felt like, for quite a while, right? Like, I mean, Chell definitely was doing what he could, but there wasn't really anybody else firing on the T side. Second half, they start to wake up. In overtime, they're definitely there. I mean, you were looking at the numbers that were being put up by some of those individuals, and there was some that were seriously lacking, but they did actually manage to convert a pretty decent scoreline overall at the end of the map, and we'll find out whether or not they can maintain that momentum going into Inferno. That is SemperFi's pick, so good chance that we might be going to 3 tonight. We'll find out when we do come back from the break.
I'll keep going till my speaker tone blows. I'll keep going till my speaker tone blows. I'll keep going till my speaker tone blows. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my speaker tone. I'll keep going till my speaker tone blows. 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 Going till my speaker tone blows. I'll keep going till my speaker tone blows. I'll keep going till my speaker tone blows. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my speaker tone. I'll keep going till my speaker tone blows. 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 I'll keep going till my speaker tone blows.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a Benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of on my feet when I touch the ground. Front of A to Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and Rolex account a blue face. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brother since 6th grade. G-Wagon, red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, acting like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. Pacino. Uh-huh.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town.
Back once again for yet another map. This time it's going to be Inferno, and the story so far has been a pretty competitive one. Rooster taking their pick of map 1 over SemperFi, 16-13 on Overpass. Now, I don't know that that's necessarily going to be enough for us to get hugely convinced that they're going to be able to win this series, but it certainly puts it in the realms of possibility. And I will remind you that the last time that we did see this map pool in terms of these two picks, Overpass into Inferno, Rooster did actually beat SemperFi 2-0. So that may be part of the reason why SemperFi haven't been picking into the Inferno of late. But they've opted for it today, and we'll see if Rooster can punish on it.
Exactly. The most recent time that they played Inferno, it was a 13-7 victory for Rooster, and that was at Extremesland 2025. So that was it was bang on a month ago today, actually. So 1 month anniversary, we're getting the rematch on this map, which should be exciting. But the previous couple of times that they've played, it has gone in SemperFi's way. So I guess it's kind of hit and miss. Recency bias would suggest potentially 2-0 very much on the table this time for Rooster, but if we have a little bit of a look at the further context, maybe this is not going to be as cut and dry.
I mean, they don't have a great track record on the Inferno. Generally speaking, it is SemperFi's map. It is the expectation that it should go their way. And I think more importantly as well, just in terms of my gut feeling when it comes to Rooster, I guess more of an eye test thing, it feels like they're much more comfortable and methodical on the Overpass. You sort of see what happened for them at Pro League, for example, when they went and played overseas. They did, I thought, reasonably okay, actually, on the map of Overpass. They had some close losses generally, but at least close maps, whereas they tended to get a bit blown out on Inferno. So to me, that kind of reads that they have a bit of a better setup on Overpass than what they do here on Inferno. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't win it against SemperFi. So let's crack on into it and see how this one plays out. We need to have all guns blazing, I think, for Rooster if they want to get this one over the line.
Okay. Just waiting to get into the pistol. I'm liking the heavy lean in the utility front here from Rooster. Absolutely stacking Shell up with util. Actually, even hanging a Molotov for ASAP here. Very heavy investment, but assuming a little bit of fight for Banana. We usually don't get to see quite the same level of firefight in the utility department until later in the game, but seems that they want to kick things off quickly.
Off we go. Where's all that util going to be headed? There is a lot of it, as you've mentioned. A little bit of a probe up Banana here from TJP. I mean, you'd think with the util set that they've got 2 smokes, a Molotov, and a few flashes, this will be a B hit. Smoke off CT, smoke off coffins, molly new box or oranges, and go from there. But first they'd have to take control of top Nana.
And they back
Which is
away.
easier said than done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 3 players over there from SemperFi, so probably not a bad call. Now, that decoy is definitely not fooling anybody.
No, not in the slightest, but they haven't faltered in their positions yet. Lovely crossfire here. Actually, they're going to try and get ahead of it. Keen, lovely cheeky pick, and then immediately backs away into the smoke, fades into oblivion. There is only 1 pick to come back in response. I say that Keen, it is stellar stuff from him. Finds another and just teeing himself up for an absolutely incredible finish to this round there. But the longer he holds the attention, the more time his team have to come onto site, but they don't even need it. He is the hero of the day. 4 kills to kick them off. Probably kicking themselves a little bit about Overpass. So many map points they had to close it out, but couldn't. Now they start off with a nice pistol. Want to get a running start into the second map.
That's a really unfortunate round, actually, for Rooster. You know, the timing of it. Keen getting that opening pick just as the T-smoke bloomed, and so he was able to escape through Rooster smoke. It kind of helped him more than it helped Rooster, actually.
True.
And Shady got one as well before he went down, and obviously from that point on, some brilliant shooting from Keen, keeping that round looking relatively healthy. And so It is going to be a good start to the map, like you say, for SemperFi, but bomb plant down for Rooster does put an AK in the hands of Chelios and a Deagle in the hands of TJP, and there's some damage being done already.
Yep, a lot of damage done. They've kept this pretty close. Unfortunately, the weapon has been felled, is not yet recoverable, yet being the operative word here. As they push further onto this A site and more kills to be found potentially. That's a lovely HE, so much damage across the board, especially onto Chell, the standout player that really rallied the troops into the last map. Keen. Got a bit of a fight on his hands here. Has to be wary. Spots the first, actually. It's a player up in the balcony, but they're not even going to drop down. They're held at base, so he's just allowed to pick off even more. Unfortunately, bites on more than he can chew. Addict's found too.
Yeah, Chell up against the world right here again, and this time can't get it over the line. So, that round secured, but because it wasn't an investment across the board from Rooster, they are going to be able to buy into this one. Chell's down on a Glock. Surely someone's dropping him a pistol. P250 at least. There we go.
Good to see. I was going to say, P250 is the bare minimum that they could do for the king of the last map. Utility chucked on the ground for Addict, just to leave that there for the rest of the B players and go and reinforce that A site. Has going to be the line of defense here for Banana. Has a little bit belated backup from Savage on site. Burns alive, fully flashed, but will make it round the corner, and it's not going to be chased too heavily here either. But that is a lovely rung on the ladder for Rooster, but actually they decide, going to fall off, and they want to have something to do with that A space taken here by Terry.
They got a bit of brackets presence. Top Nana control is still there for Rooster as well. SemperFi not got a whole lot of information as to where Rooster are headed at the moment. Chell has to get the job done with the P250 and does a reasonable job of it, trading out Terry. Collects his weapon. They're back into the 4-on-4, and that's not gone too badly for Rooster as far as they're concerned. Now we'll see what Chell can get done. He's just got to float around, causes a ruckus. Keen actually does go down. Savage there backfilling the position. And TJP very worried about this sandbags hold. It's not going to be too concerning. A little hole in that smoke does let him just kind of creep his way through, and Hazard not prepared for that. That smoke just taking its time to sort of bloom gave TJP that little window of opportunity to grow through. And that might prove to be the difference maker here. SemperFi need to make this retake happen with just two.
Just two, a HE and a flash. HE's expended to blow open the smoke, but it's not going to spot anybody. Savage has a flash, but just too many angles. Ooh, one player spotted, but attention distracted. And actually, they'll go 1-for-1 on that. Shady, the last left alive, caught trying to escape, running away. And they will say there will be no deserters in this map. Rooster secure themselves a first round early on.
Yeah, it's a very nicely put together round from Rooster, right? They take the top Nana control, they take the brackets control, they take all of the eyes away from SemperFi essentially, and then this kill here from Chelios really feels like it's the one that kind of opens the map up. He was a little bit surprised to see Savage on Speedway, but the fact that he does see Savage on Speedway is kind of what informs that quick push into the B bomb site for Rooster. So good coordination coming through from the team, good communication as well. And now we jump back into another round where SemperFi are down on a bunch of MP9s. So not exactly the buy that they would want, but definitely a serviceable enough one on the close range fights that they're going to be having on Inferno.
Yep, and the close range fights are approaching them very quickly. There's the first, and they're going to be farming up cash with that two already. Upgraded weapons. Smoke goes out as well just to stop anybody finding a trade kill. And now a whole diversion needed over towards A. They head once more. And there's already rotates coming on over. Addict knows that B site is in good hands, wants a piece of the pie.
Hasn't spotted Terry there, I don't think. Shady. So Terry's been able to get up really nice and close. He still has a tough crossfire to break, and Keen eventually does spot him out. This round is going very pear-shaped for Rooster. That's a lucky kill for ASAP, though, and it will allow a bomb plant. So if nothing else, Rooster will be able to continue to pressure SemperFi economically with an investment in the next round. And it's just going to be a question of, can they get any more damage done here? Chell not landing the headshot, which is what he needed. And ASAP, a wild spray is not going to connect either. So SemperFi go up to 3. He would have loved to have seen maybe another couple of kills there in a loss for Rooster, because that would have really kept SemperFi under the pump economically. But this does just relieve a little bit of that pressure. And so I do wonder if Rooster are going to buy here now.
Yeah, they could, but there's a couple of players that would be feeling maybe a little bit left out of the party. Seems like they're going to go with Tech 9s and then a lucky AK over on TJP. A little bit of utility to fill in the gaps as well.
If they had have gotten another kill or two there, I think they might have gone all in, just because they would have known they would be close to breaking that CT money, but not the case, and so they'll hedge their bets.
Okay. Under the tunnel, they crawl. Very slow once more. It's kind of been a staple of how they've been playing this T side. Very passively. It's just given Hazard all of the control, a whole line of sight into Banana. So even trying to win this back is going to be a laborious task.
Smoke of the half wall. Rooster are going to disrespect it and go straight through it, which is not a bad shout at all. It is just Hazard holding on to B. He'll drop himself a flash to delay. There's another one coming through. The flash coverage so good. Rooster haven't found the opener just yet. They need to finish off Hazard, and they haven't been able to do it quickly enough. Savage, making a bit of a meal of it, but does pull out that USP, and the flashes just keep on coming. Rooster can't see a damn thing. They honestly have probably been flashed half of that round. Great coverage from the util there from SemperFi.
It's those rounds where you'd love to see the average flash blind duration, because I think you're right. They don't get to see anything of the action going on for that entire last 20-30 seconds, which you gotta highlight, right? Is incredible utility usage. They've managed to eke it out. They don't really face any resistance Banana, so they've not necessarily had too much need to invest any utility over there, so they have it all to chuck and dump as soon as they get towards the actual site.
Once again, running it back is Rooster. You see that same sort of buy cycle. One gun in the last round, 4 guns in this round, just kind of hedging their bets, giving themselves as many opportunities as they can. This time, they have been pushed away from Banana, but ASAP's been busy in the apartments in the meanwhile, and he's got a bit of space in toward Boiler. Can have a little bit of a look through carpets as well once that smoke fades. And that might be the option of choice. Do see that pre-rotate coming through, though, from SemperFi, so they're reading pretty nicely that Rooster are headed in the direction of A. This looks like it could be another grim round for the T side.
Could very well be indeed. Health bars already looking wobbly, and HE going over isn't going to help matters. It's a little bit haphazard. The amazing flashes come over once again. Terry's got one, but immediately blew in the kill feed. Slimy is putting up a Hail Mary final stand, but just TJP left. He spotted a player over towards Arch, but he can't really afford to turn too much attention in that direction.
He's got time to work, though. He's got 30 seconds to work here, and he's going to be able to get to the bomb. He might even be able to get a plan if he can get that molly down. He's just going to put a smoke behind him and look for the plan that way. Here's Savage on the creep up. Oh, he's waiting for him. He knows he's coming, but won't win the duel. So, good effort from TJP, but another round for SemperFi. They're up to 5-1 now. And this is starting to get out of hand for Rooster. They put in all that hard work to get over the line on Overpass, and then this is what's going to come and greet them on map 2. It's not what they wanted.
No, far, far from it, in fact. And SemperFi probably wondering where this one round that they needed could have gone, Overpass 1 was all they needed to stop it going here. Now it's looking more and more if this continues. A third map, probably a little bit downtrodden by the prospect, but they've bought themselves a nice easy round here. It should just be a couple of Tech 9s. I'm not saying that they don't have the power to severely overwhelm, especially when they are hurling at you, but an HE like that is going to slow everything to a complete pause. And there it is. In a matter of seconds, ASAP's the only one to find any sort of a response, and it is very short-lived.
All right, well, this is starting to look very grim on the behalf of Rooster. They need to find a way to lift. One round on the T side of Inferno is not nearly going to be enough. No tech pause. Oh, sorry, no tack pause at this stage from Rooster. They were at a time quite infamous for being a team that never used tack pauses. This was a while ago, though. I'm talking years, 5 years, something like that. Maybe not quite 5 years, but definitely going back in the history quite a bit. They have flipped on that a little, but, you know, this would be about the time where you'd probably want to be seeing attack pause coming out.
Ooh, no pausing at all for Keen. Good first map. We talked about the 30 bomb in regulation alone wasn't enough, but is already here. Okay. Slow round once again. Banana control's being completely conceded, so playing contact on this site. In fact, that's how they're going to be playing both of these extremities. Still a little bit of poking from Chell there, just to see if he could bait something out, find an extra kill to make their life at the end of the round any easier, but alas, not meant to be.
Oh, need that kill. Not quite going to be secured. TJP still looking for some entries on the way in, and look, he does a pretty good job of at least taking space, which allows that trade to come through for Slimy. It is 3-on-4, but that bomb plant goes down quickly. Rooster in with a chance. The B site notoriously difficult to retake. Chell has another smoke for CT, and he's able to essentially clear out Banana himself. So time ticking. SemperFi with a bit of work to do on this retake. This could be the tipping point if Rooster can turn this one on its head.
Would be a lovely round to find here, and that time is getting dangerously low. Kills go 1 apiece. Shady, though, finds 2. They still have to clear out Slimy is the issue, and they just haven't been able to. And there it is. The pick comes on through. It's going to be a photo finish, but I think he's just about got it. And oh, lucky stars being counted right now here for SemperFi.
Yeah, I think Slimy's going to be kicking himself there for peeking that soon. It didn't seem like he was under really any pressure at all. If he might have timed his peek a little bit better, maybe he wins that round just on time. But it doesn't happen that way. 7-1. SemperFi get away with another one, and this is getting really, really painful for Rooster now.
Oh, all right. Rooster, they need to find some sort of an answer, and soon. And unfortunately, Keen has found them first. And it's a harrowing start to a harrowing score line that they are looking down the barrel of right now. Over towards A, they barrel. Missed shot from Keen, but it's luring them in, and they're not even going to clear out Addict. He's good for 2. Terry goes down, but it's a little bit of a consolation prize. 2 versus 3, and Shady's not stopping.
Yeah. I mean, wrap it up at this point. This is not looking like it's going to be recoverable for Rooster at all. All of these rounds are starting with a pick for SemperFi, and, you know, Rooster are making them, to an extent, look competitive, but this scoreline is looking anything but.
Are you a Nuke enjoyer?
Yeah, I like Nuke.
That's a really good thing, because I have a feeling we might be seeing a little bit of Nuke.
Yeah, I think we will be too. It's been a bit of an up and down map, actually, for both of these teams of late. Yeah, a little bit better, I'd say, for SemperFi, obviously. Rooster were really pressured by Mindfreak on that map yesterday.
Yeah.
Don't know if I fancy their chances of closing the series out on Nuke, but obviously we still have to get there. I mean, the way things are going at the moment, it won't take us long to get to Nuke.
We say that as the tech pause hits, which we've just jinxed ourselves, haven't we?
Of course. I mean, wouldn't have a map of Counter-Strike without a tech pause, personally. It's my favorite part of the job.
Yeah, I like the little animation, get to sit here and watch. I had a little bit of a look at the rulebook, and I couldn't see anything on the online tournaments about whether talking was allowed or not, because it's offline sections like, no talking during tech pause, absolutely not. But on the online section, it doesn't say, so I'm actually not sure.
Well, I think the implication there would be if there's no rule, then you can do what you want, basically, unless it's explicitly stated. The assumption is you can talk.
Talk, yeah. But it was a short tech pause, very short tech pause. Straight back into the game. And yeah, the buy not looking great here. A chance for SemperFi to really extend their reach on this map. Now they're having a little bit of a fight. They've been conceding a lot of banana controller deep. Molotov just to stop Hazard peeking. But in the moment that fades, he's right back on that angle and he is right back hunting for this. There seems to be no slowing him down. And this time he's got backup. He's not even holding the solo. So they can afford to be aggressive. They can afford to be ballsy and play this forward position. And Slimy, gotta be careful. That's the ult there. You can hear it. And there it is. Bullet to the chest.
Yeah, just can't really be peeking the AWP at this stage. Keen's hitting everything. Need to be doing a little bit more than just dry peeking it. Push him off the line with some flashes. There's one. And that has forced Keen back. But, still get the smoke down outside of B. And Rooster will have to see that timer ticking away.
Yep. Timer ticking away, health bars, well, Slimy's gone and TJP's seen better days. And now they have to head over towards A. Terry's got a little bit of a position to work with here, but they've still got around these corners and the danger that still lurks on site very much unaccounted for right now. And they've got limited utility to deal with it. 2 smokes and a flash, and that's all they've got for the whole of this plant. And retake, and they don't clear Addict once again. Shell gets 1 pick, but it's immediately met with aggression, brute force to the face. And there is another round on the boards, and it seems that SemperFi can't pay. They can put a foot wrong right now.
Yeah, SemperFi just looking way too good on this map. I mean, the more this drags on, the more it feels like Nuke is an inevitability. I suppose if Rooster can get it up to 3, not going to be prepared to count my chickens before they hatch just yet in that case. But if it goes any further than that, if we get double digits out here already by SemperFi, then yeah, I mean, this is probably just going to be too far gone for Rooster. They will once again have a look into banana. Molly at car, smoke at half wall. SemperFi not too concerned about that. They go for the deep smoke themselves and send Hazard into reclaim at brackets. Meanwhile, by the way, Keen, once again, another opening pick. That's, I think, 3 rounds in a row from him that the AWP has got the opening kill.
Oh, Hazard. Quick little reload there. He has been so good at holding down this banana control. It has been completely close, especially early round. They've just not had an answer to what him and Savage have really been doing over on B.
ASAP aware there's a player close, but not going to find the timing as the smoke blooms. Shady happy, tucked away in safety. This molly's going to go too deep. It's not a molly for sandbags. There's one. That could be a problem. But Savage does not care. Hazard's the only one that's getting his toes tickled, but he just drops off to safety. Savage with 3K. Nothing is going right for Rooster at all.
No, this is a complete switch up for SemperFi. It's just such a clinical hold. And we talked about this about the Rooster. They've taken a victory versus SemperFi before on this, but I mean, recency bias is proving why the bias part is in the name. Lovely pick there from ASAP. Immediately swivels back. The issue is 1 versus 3, 5 seconds. Just has to duck in and hope that he'll be allowed to keep this AK. And luckily for him, we know that nobody is close enough really to take that away. So it's a small, very measly consolation prize going into the last round of the half. And even that, you don't really want to call it a prize because it's a mercy.
Yeah, 2 rounds is barely better than 1. I mean, I guess it's 100% better. You've doubled your rounds, but
Technically, yeah.
the reality is that it doesn't really feel like it shifts the needle all that much. And that is even assuming that they can get this round. You got 3 Galils and a Mac 10, so it's definitely a substandard buy at the moment for Rooster.
HE straight over the top to TJ as well. What a way to start this off. But Terry has actually been the one to find the first kill. Gives them a way in, but Addict immediately doesn't want to let them have the advantage. Back and forth we go, and Slimy has been a little bit of a pillar of this team, leading in the frags department, and it's going to be a necessity if they want to actually continue spiraling this round.
Keen's taking a risk, and it's not going to pay off. ASAP turns around just in time. So it does look like, at least for this map, Rooster might be getting a second round. I'm not sure they're going to be writing home about that, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean...
See what Savage has to say.
Yeah, there's no reason not to go for this last round at the half, but so far removed. Does have a kit and a flashbang, but I think TJP is going to hear the footsteps, is going to have a little bit of a nosy. There's a flash over the top for the peak as well, and it's perfect. Terry to find the kill, and it's a measly 2 rounds, but it's something for Rooster to work with in the second half.
This is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. Feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
Ten to 2, the score right now, and Rooster are going to need some kind of massive lock-in moment to win this map, because things did not go very well for them on that T side. Now they're on the CT side, might feel a little bit more comfortable, but I mean, this is a nigh impossible scoreline to come back from.
Yeah, and a pistol round loss here would be devastating. Even if they concede a bomb plant, I'd say that's too far gone at that point. And over towards this A site, SemperFi crawl. There's going to be limited resistance put on up here. Couple of little taps away is going to give away a little bit of the game plan, but it's not going to be enough time for anyone to come on over. Chell's got one. They're trying to hunt him down. He's still alive just for a second, though. And there it is, 2 for 2. And the site falls. Bomb is going to get planted. There's no kit available, so they have to start getting onto this quickly. And everyone's
That's a fast rotate.
Yeah, fast rotate indeed.
Rooster have booked it over toward the A side, but this is where it's going to have to slow down. Now, they do have a smoke in the hands of ASAP. There might be a kit on the site somewhere. I don't know if you caught that. I certainly didn't. But either way, this will be a problematic one as they still have to take that space. ASAP jumping into the site will lose his life. Now it's down to just TJP, and he's got 2 to find. He will not get either. So defuse kit is irrelevant at this stage, and that's 11 for SemperFi. Pistol round in the second half goes the way of the CT side, of the T side, I should say. And for the CT side, that's pretty much curtains, really. I think we're going to be looking toward Nuke to close this series.
It is a death sentence indeed. You can see they put everything that they physically can into this last, realistically the last buy they're going to get here on this map. And it's going to need to farm some cash with the MP9s, or if they can find something early and pick up a weapon, maybe they make something of it. But I have a feeling that SemperFi are not going to be too eager to let that be the case. Flash over the top. Nobody's showing their face in banana.
TJP solo holding B. He's not going to be feeling too great about that, but he's got the 5-7 in tow. And a lot of delaying util here as well. He's got another smoke. He's got a grenade. I mean, even that flash could slow things down. So just as SemperFi think about wanting to go here through that smoke, there's going to be another one to greet them, and even a transition coming across from ASAP as well. They've naded open the smoke once. Shows that there's somebody there. Now a smoke into coffins as well. And the next nade in is actually TJP's, which will be the end of Savage. And this has gone horribly wrong for SemperFi. They've chosen to push their way through a smoke into 5-7s. I am at a loss for words as to why they've decided to do that.
A huge faux pas there. The biggest of missteps we've seen from them possibly all series. And it's not even the MP9s. I said maybe if you farm up some cash. No, it's just the pistols. One smoke, and they choose not to respect it. All it would have taken is just falling back a second, just taking a beat. But they're so eager to get onto site, and now it's them on the Tech 9s.
I mean, look, with another few rounds in the back pocket there, Rooster, you might start to think, okay, this could be doable, but an 11-3 scoreline seems like too much. We'll see. Addict's going to get aggressive, and he's backed up by Hazza, who actually ends up burning alive. It's some of the entries needed. They need just the one more onto Terry, but it comes perhaps a little bit too late. Shady will be able to scramble to get a bomb plant down, but he will find it difficult to win this round. That is impossible, really. So another one for Rooster.
Yeah, it's another one for Rooster, which gives them just something to keep them afloat in this map. But ultimately, at the end of the day, bomb goes down. That's a pretty successful eco round. There's 2 kills and a bomb plant. That's, you know, I'd call that a win in my books. It's not a round win, don't get me wrong, there are better outcomes, but it's a safe one to go, yeah, that's what we want to achieve, and they've done it. It won't be in this round that we really get to see that have too much effect. There's going to be some Desert Eagles, but it will be really next round that we see whether they can get themselves onto that map point, or whether there is...
I'd like to believe.
You'd like to,
and to be fair,
yeah.
To be fair, Rooster, you know, they really put their heads down in that last map as well. Big spray from TJP, using all 35 of those bullets in the Galil, and now the 5-7 as well. He wants the ace. He's not going to get it. Shady dispatches of him, but ASAP will make no mistake. Up to 5. And yeah, like I was saying, you know, if this was maybe 10 rounds for SemperFi instead of 11, you know, let's say the first half score was 9-3 instead of the 10-2, you'd be looking at a 10-6 at this point, and that definitely feels like it's starting to get close to the point where you can believe. But I think we're still a good sort of maybe even 3 rounds off of that right now for Rooster.
11-8 and I'll believe it. 11-8 and I'll change my tune a little bit. But they have to get there. The gun round's lacking a lot of utility, but whether that pans out to mean too much, yet to be seen. Smoke goes over, is gonna butt off Chelio, sorry, and Terry. Savage. Ooh, she spotted a gun barrel. Why is that allowed?
Slimy's just fallen asleep at the wheel. He has absolutely fallen asleep at the wheel. He's thought, I don't know, I think he must have thought he cleared out carpets, but he definitely didn't. That's illegal from him.
Oh,
and that'll be the round over and done with. And maybe that'll be the map as well, unfortunately. I mean, there was... Look, to be fair, it wasn't really much of a comeback being mounted just yet by Rooster, but any thought, any hope is well and truly gone. That round has just fallen to bits.
Yep, and he said Slimy asleep at the wheel. He's caught on the balcony, gun barrel spotted in broad daylight. And if that's the catalyst for the end, there's going to have to be a little bit of a, you know, slap across the back of the head. You know, what was that? What's going on here? But I mean, the writing's kind of beyond the wall a little bit. When they're up so much, all it takes is one player out of position to be the force that really drives this team over the edge and sends us to Nuke. So it realistically could have been anyone that made that slip up. And there's so many rounds that they had left. And we wanted to say 11-8, that's when we believe. 12-5, that hope, it all but vanishes in an instant.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there for Slimy. I think he's just made a little boo-boo, you know, he's just not considered the possibility that someone could be walking up carpets there. That's really all that it is. It's a mistake. And that is 12 for SemperFi. So it might be all over for Rooster here on Inferno, but still got Nuke in the back pocket. They were able to fight their way to a win on Overpass.
True. Backs against the wall, you know, there's nothing but all-out aggression. Now you've got no other option. It's win or map 3, so you might as well just go for it. But Addict is going for the opening pick, and he'll get it. No qualms there. Terry is something to say about the matter, but it's one and done. And now, where else can you really take this?
Well, Slimy gets himself a cheeky kill. Doesn't manage to survive, though. So it's all on TJP.
He's been good, though. He's been good this half.
Is he just going to walk through this smoke? If he does, that'll be the map done and dusted. Unceremonious execution from Hazard. The one-shot headshot, 13-5. We all knew it was coming. SemperFi have picked up their map pick, and that means we are going to 3. It seems like a semblance of normalcy has kind of returned to this matchup between SemperFi and Rooster. The last 3 matches they've played have all been 2-0s, but aside from that, it's been pretty much 3 mappers for the entirety of 2025. So once again, we go back to a 3-mapper and we'll be on to Nuke to decide which way this series is going to go. And I do think, again, Nuke, a very workable map for both these teams, so it should be a pretty good one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think it's a great final resting place for this series. I'm hoping that, you know, a little bit of a break between the end of this map and the next gives them a chance to wipe the slate clean, figure out just what wasn't gelling on this map, and hope that Nuke is looking up for them. But we have had enough of that map. I think there's a couple of people, especially on the side of Roost, that would like to forget it. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a short little bit of a break whilst we get ready to move along with this series. We'll be back very soon.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. How will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Somebody give me the key. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. No more doubt about me. I can run this town. Don't you know I got the
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. The way the shakedown.
Alrighty, well, here we are on map number 3. It is going to be Nuke and SemperFi and Rooster once again going to be going the distance. I'm not sure that's too much of a surprise for those of us that have been keeping an eye on things, the happenings within Oceania. These two teams typically are reasonably well equipped to take one another on. We'll see how things do go today because Rooster obviously, took a bit of a stumble there on Inferno. They worked really hard to get over the line on Overpass. But that doesn't mean that this series is unwinnable for them. I think at this point, though, Affinity, we're probably leaning in the direction of SemperFi.
Yeah, they've played each other on this map 4 times in the past couple of months. And we've got to give Rooster credit. They did win one of those nukes. But then to caveat that, 2 of those losses were 13 threes. So there is definitely a little bit of a worry. It seems that the 9th round went in the way of Rooster, which is a huge saving grace there. CT side looks a lot cleaner. So they have a real chance to give themselves the best springboard into this map possible.
Yes, indeed. Chell going to start with a nade and a flash here. Presumably having been the one to drop the dualies over to Slimy as well.
Selfless.
Yeah, nice guy. A grenade would be mighty fine over towards ramp room right now because there is a big chunk of players headed in that direction. There it is. It's tossed on in and it's going to land on Keen's noggin, finishing him off. Addict also low, has a tagged up as well. Oh, and Chell getting away with a little bit of a timing there as Shady also drops the TJP. So as far as this map is concerned, it's a decent start so far from Rooster. Savage has other ideas as he leads that charge now into the A site through Heaven. But you're still losing players across the board. So the only real saving grace is the fact that a bomb plant has gone down.
Bomb plant goes down, but only one pick to be found is swings around us, isn't it? It's messy, it's not a good look, but they still got the bomb down, which will make them have a couple more opportunities on the playing cards for round number 2. And immediately we see the Galil brought up, passed on over, and a couple more coming into the fold as well. Not really wanting to let this get off to too much of a start, because if you can steal away this second round, you stunt Rooster's economy horrifically and give yourself a real sort of wedge that you can drive into this opening quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. Although Rooster are kind of hedging their bets a little bit here as well with TJP and Chell keeping a bit of cash in the bank. So we'll keep an eye on that. It may be a world where if the circumstances are not looking great for Rooster, they save a couple of guns, they're still going to be able to scrounge something together in the next. Chell's going to play up close and personal behind that smoke with an MP9. Oh, this timing's not looking too good. Oh, I thought he was going to go through the smoke, but opts better of it. Now that that smoke has faded, he is in behind the forces of SemperFi, and they're not aware of it. Oh, spots one out, but the MP9 at range is not going to have the same stopping power that the Galil does. So first blood in this round goes the way of SemperFi.
Very nice way to kick this off. They're already down B. They're not expecting Terry. He almost lines up 2, but lovely pick there from Hazza. Oh, a dink instantly onto ASAP, but it's Keen to finish off the job.
Yeah, that round's just disappeared. Slimy can hold on to his gun. That'll be an M4 in the next round.
We talked about it, though. It's going to be horrific for the economy.
Yeah, I don't think keeping one gun alive is probably not enough to really incentivize anything here for Rooster. If it was 2 guns alive and maybe you've done a little bit of extra damage, you might think about it. But this will probably just be Slimy to try and, guide the ship through the treacherous waters of round number 3. If he can even keep this M4 up, is able to win that duel onto Hazza.
Lovely one to find there. Going down would be tragic.
He got a fight against Keen there as well. So he has actually taken 2 with him, which has given him a little bit of extra cash to play with. So, yeah, I still don't know that it's enough, but maybe Rooster of a different opinion to me. So they do decide to force into this one. And I think it is off the back of those extra couple of kills that Slimy gets that Rooster are able to make that decision. Not only because it allows him to drop a slightly superior weapon than what he would have otherwise been able to, but also that extra damage onto the SemperFi economy. I mean, Shady's down to 0, Haz is at 100. If Rooster could win this round, then the shoe's back on the other foot.
Exactly. I think it's also in part, you highlighted it, the piggy bank of TJP and Chelios are having a little bit of extra money that they saved going into those MP9s instead of into the rifles. It's all just adding up, and it's a bad situation, but they're making the best out of it at least. As have a little bit of a look, gonna be flashed on down.
Whoa.
Lot of damage done. I think so. I think it's part nade, part the drop, and the scout's just gonna farm.
Yeah, it's a shame that it's Hazard that ends up getting headshot there by Chell. It's a bit of overkill because he was the low player. You would have liked to have put the headshot into somebody else if you had the choice, but you'll take it. Now, Terry might have been a bit unexpected there. Shady still clears him out. This round looks like it's going to go pear-shaped again for Rooster unless they pick up a favorable duel in lobby. TJP not really worried about that at the moment. He's more concerned about what's happening in Annex. Savage is working his way down the ladder, and TJP has no idea Keen's coming in from behind him. So Rooster swindled again.
Yep, and that's going to be another force buy put to rest, which means, again, 1 foot in the mud. ASAP has a little peek. Nade dropped in at the fear. Savage actually just takes all of the damage from that one. Wanted to follow up with the kill, but will be denied. Oh, drops down. ASAP running for his life, but back turns. You can't turn your back to an opponent in close quarters like that. And that's going to be the second converted. And SemperFi, a little bit of a rough start on that pistol. Immediately want to get back into the game, though. They're not letting anything slip through their fingers.
Well, Rooster are going to have to let something slip in this round. It's time for a save.
Yeah.
5 USPs. Yeah, what a start to the map it was, but they haven't converted on it.
Say overdue, but I mean, this is the first round that they've really had to. There's been no other option. Little bits of tickle damage done onto all of these players early, but nothing really to write home about. TJP's got a lot of health taken down, and by that, I mean Savage has just come through and wrecked their stuff. And now, 3 versus 5. They've got ramp open. They've got everywhere open, realistically. The remaining trio is still alive over here. Savage is going to be able to call over that he's seen all of them. And now they're going to pile into Shady. Slimy last left, and I mean, maybe you just hold on to this weapon, but I don't even think that's a possibility. Keen is going hunting.
Yep. All right, well, Eco done and dusted, and we'll see Rooster with the guns back in hand. Still no AWP out for Chell, which is a little bit unfortunate. Getting 5 rounds into the half, this is essentially starting to get pretty deep in the half, so to speak, and you'd want to be seeing Chell with as much uptime on the AWP on CT side as possible. Just doesn't seem like the money's there to really facilitate it yet. And it could have been at this stage. If they had converted on that pistol round, things might have looked a bit different here for Rooster. But they're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way with the rifles in hand. And ASAP dead on out. So too TJP. And it's not looking very good here until Slimy strikes for 2. Chell for 1. And a grenade here as well. Onto Keen. It might land. It's not quite gone deep enough, so Keen survives, and he will be able to put that bomb on the floor now that Heaven has been mollied off.
Now the molly going in there as well, just to keep this player at bay. Knows somebody's up there being a little bit pesky, and the longer you can stall them, the better. They have no idea, however, where Terry is. And now 2 of them up here, and the HE as well. They're just going to keep barraging utility at them.
Yeah, Chell not going to spot Shady there. Or rather, Hazard it is, actually. Certainly wasn't spotting Shady because he was dead. But either way, 4-1's the score. SemperFi motoring along, dare I say, even, on this T side now, which is starting to become quite problematic for Rooster. We're staring down the barrel of another similar game to Inferno, it would seem.
Yep. It is certainly getting off to that sort of a start, considering that this is, of course, the T-side start. 4 rounds already is workable. Anything more, and considering we're only on round 6, there's so much more for them to work with. Anything more is absolute gold dust. Wall of smokes to go out. They are, I mean, they're going to be able to cross. They decide not to. Decides to dip back in over towards main a little bit here. Shadows has to be careful. A little bit of a shift down towards the bottom site, potentially. Keen his gun ringing on out, waiting for the right opportunity to swing. It's clinical, and he ducks away as to not be caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Wouldn't want that.
We would not.
Caught red-handed. There's no denying it at that point. But man, this is just looking like it's getting cleaner and cleaner for SemperFi. Nice tackle from Terry. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to really shift the needle all that much. But, you know, still nice to grab a couple of kills, get a bit of confidence flowing. 5-1 though. It is getting easier as we go on for SemperFi, it would seem.
Yeah, they're starting to just settle into a rhythm here as well, and that's the difficult one, is once they get set into this pace, it's going to be very difficult to get them to budge. And there are weapons online. Chelios is going to have that up. Now, it was the statement piece that got them that first round on Overpass that really turned the tide and was really the momentum shift, the tonal shift as well. So maybe we can see the miracle of Chel's orb change their lives for good.
Unfortunately, again, it feels like it might come a little too late in the half. 5 already on the T side here for SemperFi, so job's close to being done. Shady. Lose a little bit of HP to ASAP there on the cross, but not too concerned about that. Re-smokes. As SemperFi think about trying to make their way down secret. Oh, ASAP's got to be careful with that jump spot. As Keen is on the line. 3 players successfully making it across. And that is going to be a real cause for concern for Rooster, as now Keen joining them for 4 down toward that B bomb site. At least that's where they're headed for the moment.
Yeah, TJP's got a little bit of a challenge lined up for him. I think the main goal, find one dip on out, but Keen's already found a pick, so you need to find something. Actually chooses just to back away early and call for reinforcements. Over towards double doors, having a little bit of a nosy. Just going to tuck on in and hope that he's not going to be noticed, but they'll know somebody's down here, surely.
Oh, he's being very patient.
He is.
Unfortunately, fortunately, the patience will be rewarded with a kill, and Keen's also dropped in the meanwhile, so TJP gives up a lot of HP, but at least gets himself a 1-for-1, which, given the circumstances, was a pretty good effort. Mollied out of position. Still, bomb plant does go down, so advantage SemperFi, and a leg on to Haza. Savage needing to double down in decon. Can't even get himself a 1. Bit of damage over onto Terry, but no more than that. Addict relying on Haza to watch that decon door. Gets himself just the 1. Now Addict really under pressure. Oh, okay, it was close. If Chell missed that shot for whatever reason, that could have been around still the way of SemperFi, but Rooster scrounge 1 more together.
Yep, and it's down to the wire, 7 health, and you said the double down needed on decon, maybe not needed, but would have even finding 1 been monumental in that round, playing out slightly differently, and you've got a lot of reliance there. 1 player on rafters who's watching ramp and needs to be pitch perfect, otherwise the player on site is just wide open and vulnerable, and unfortunately just gets a little bit overwhelmed. When 1 prong falls off, so does the other, and suddenly you're left with something that's not got much stab to it.
Well, Son said he wins the race again here for the T side. SemperFi happy to set up that wall of smokes, but they're not going to use it.
No, they are not. Getting ready for an A hit. Very slow on this one. Not a footstep to be heard. Not a footstep to be made. Chelios, lovely peek on out there. ASAP's got one of his own. Savage desperately trying to work this one on back. Are they even going to expect Slimy up here? That's the question.
Yes, it looks like it. Keen checking it, but we'll lose that duel anyway. Still up the ladder. TJP catches Savage. Rooster get themselves another one. It's starting to come together. Money still pretty good on the T side, though. So a bit of work to do here for Rooster before they get to more comfortable territory.
Yeah,
but it's progressing.
Job still to be done, and both of them, you can see there's a couple of areas of weakness. Both have those SMGs online. A little bit more missing utility from SemperFi, but not too much to worry about necessarily. Wall of smokes outside, and this time I think they're going to use them. TJP so quick through trophy into lobby, and this entire portion of the map shut down, and they've cleared all of ramp, they've cleared all of towards A. There's only one place they can be going.
Shell is there, ready and waiting for them. Orb in hand. Gets a nice shot onto Shady, and he'll be able to set himself up for a second, but not connecting that one still. Damage has been done. He's able to transition across the decon. He's got many teammates down here to help him out as well. This is looking pretty doomed for SemperFi. Perfectly timed peek from ASAP. And this might be where the needle starts to shift a little bit more dramatically, as Rooster look like they're going to keep 4 or 5 guns alive here, and they might actually start to get SemperFi close to that break point.
Could very well be the case. Addict doesn't want this to be a complete washout, so finding a couple of names to take down with him, but too much of an ask, and TJP is just going to be watching this one solitary angle, waiting, lying in the grass. Sniper rifle, a metaphorical sniper rifle, of course, trained on him. Falls back a little bit here, just luring him in closer and closer. 20 seconds. There's nothing really to be found here.
Well, Alex going to take an AK through at least.
No,
so that's something. Well, I mean, life could be better, I guess, if you're Addict at that point there, but it's not the end of the world just yet.
Could have gone completely, home with no prizes whatsoever. That would have been a little bit worse. It can't get much worse beyond that, though. Full gun round and, you're only able to sort of walk away with your life is definitely something to query, especially with just Tech9's really bolstering this going into this next round. That is going to be them closing up the gap. It is, 5 on the T side already is looking pretty good. Anything more they can find, we said, is absolutely miraculous and going to do worlds of favors for them. And they've been keeping Rooster fairly humble. That last round, not a good example of that, but across the board.
Oh, Slimy turning away from a couple of the flashes. No real commitment just yet. That's not too bad of a start, though, for Rooster. Terry and Chell being able to strike, and SemperFi with this, I guess, substandard buy have not really got that punching power that they need. But they have managed to get the bomb plant down, and ASAP crucially able to cross there. Savage, that might be a bit of a mishap from him, as Addict might not be prepared for ASAP so close. Still wins that duel. And actually, this has gone a little pear-shaped. It's all on the shoulders of Slimy. He's going to be able to smoke off the double doors. Actually might have had a crack there onto Keen, whose shoulder was poking around at Megaton. Still gets that job done, but this is going to be tough. He's aware now, at least, as to where Addict is coming from, but that Molotov is going to seal the deal, and that's going to be another round for SemperFi. That's not ideal for Rooster. It should have been a cleaner round than that. And that has given SemperFi their 6th on the T side now.
Yep. Victory from the jaws of defeat very much in that. And it's just the Tech9s that one saved over AK. And they make it sing. They do such amazing work with it. They bought themselves 6 at the half. Again, there's a couple of missing bits here. Slimy again on the MP9. And it's all of these small little weaknesses that they're going to try and find that they can try and exploit. Albeit their own buy is not particularly perfect itself. So something a little bit pacier to accommodate these Mac 10s would be nice. And it's straight towards ramp. And Shell, good for the first, immediately backs away, and they don't really want to chase after that. That is a dangerous game, so they're just going to rack lockers.
Quick and dirty from SemperFi, but it is getting a little bit messy. They've lost a couple of players. Savage and Hazard on the way. So Rooster still in this contest, but largely going to allow them out from heaven, then they'll take the fight to them. It's a 1-for-1 for TJP. Slimy's position is a strong one, but he doesn't want to overplay his hand. Keen dropping off the ladder. I don't think that was heard at all by ASAP. Didn't make any noise, Keen, and that's a really nice kill for him to grab. It's brought it back to 2-on-2, and these rounds, which do look like they should be pretty clean for Rooster, never seem to end up going in that direction.
No, they never do. Shady with another, and you can just see Chell backs away. He wants this AWP in the last round. He has to get to a safe space, has to be wary of that cross, has successfully managed to pass, but may still have a couple of issues in the likes of Shady. But no, dispatches, and oh no, it's Keen at the last second. Not a nice buy going into this one. Scout available. And it's the closest Shell's going to get to having that AWP online. It's been an okay game for him. We've not quite seen the same caliber of shotgun AWPing that we were singing the praise of over on map number 1. But in all fairness, they've meant that it's kind of been scorched earth. Neither of these teams have really been given the economy to have a proper full buy.
Yeah, Terry having a little bit of a look-see there. Hazard lucky to be alive. That grenade not again going to go deep enough to finish him off. There's so much util being dumped over here towards ramp room. No kills yet, though. Hazard on 1 HP.
1 HP, but still alive enough to be pressuring elsewhere on the map. And now here we go in towards the A site. Slimy again up on the rafters. That's going to be an opening fight, but it's going to be TJP that wins it on out. Keen going down, which means, well, 3 and a tiny little bit of a player left. And they are just going to be holding the fort. Unfortunately, they are going to get pushed. And the issue with their patience is that they've got to be prepared if they get pushed into, which we haven't necessarily seen a whole lot of.
Shady. Oh, could be the difference maker, but he's been spotted out. ASAP, unlucky, not able to get that one. Even another tag onto Shady from that scout. Not going to finish him off. He's the Terminator. But I think he's going to be the Terminated in a second. 7-5 will be the scoreline at the end of the half. Rooster, have they done enough? Let's find out when we come back for the second. One half remains in Cup number 3 of the ESL Challenger League Season 50 Oceania Grand Final. Is SemperFi and a Rooster. And the scoreline 7-5 right now. SemperFi moving on to that CT side. All signs do point towards a positive finish for them. But if Rooster come out of here with a nice solid T-side pistol and a bit of momentum maybe off the back of that, then we could still see a Rooster victory today.
Very real chance. Ooh, but unfortunately, Addict with 2 lovely picks outside. It's a bad omen. There's still time to bring it back, but it's not the start they would have wanted into this pistol round. Terry frantically searching all around, has a little window of opportunity, so the bomb will go down, and Slimy is hoping for a little bit of a cheeky one as they rotate down to site, but will be in fact denied. And now here we go. Both players pushed off of site. An Addict 1-2 to the skull. That's 4 in the round, and it is clinical to secure themselves an 8 and a pistol round to springboard this start.
Yep, that is not ideal at all for Rooster. It's going to be a real uphill battle for them now. Bomb plant, though, gives them the option of buying into this round. Terry could drop an AK if they wanted to go for a hero AK. There it is. Into the hands of ASAP, who's been struggling a little bit on this map, so that gets tossed back over to Chell now. It was Chelios and Slimy, the 2 that have been front running, that will be given the important job in this round.
The weight of the world on their shoulders here. Will they deliver? Shady, wall of smokes, doesn't have the utility himself to blow this open. He's going to have a little bit of a spam, but he's got a teammate on the right of him that's ready and available. He's going to part the smoke a little bit, but unfortunately Shady is not going to be the one to find the picks. But Keen, however, does benefit greatly from this. There's the opener that they need. And now immediate call to back away here.
Yeah, it's rough for Rooster. See the round start that way. They come into it with high hopes, but immediately losing ASAP. And good kill from Chill. That AK in the right hands gets the better of Shady. We're back to 4-on-4, but relatively irretrievable weapon, that one. So doesn't help Rooster all that much beyond just getting the kill.
Not going to face any resistance just yet. There's a player on ramp, and it's near enough by to rotate on down. But actually, something in the back of their brain said no. Reposition over towards Decon, and unfortunately, Keen has got a watchful eye here. The moment that door swings open, he's going to have a lot on his plate, but like shooting fish in a barrel, spots 1, spots 2, takes 2 down. Here's the footsteps of the 3rd. Can't quite find Chelios, but Slimy goes down, so that means he's left by his lonesome. So much to do. Bomb frantically, desperately put down, but it will not be even allowed to stand up off the back of it.
Yeah, bomb plant's better than nothing, though, I suppose. A bit of extra cash. But 9 on the board now for SemperFi. Not enough damage really done there by Rooster to fully feel like they've achieved what they set out to do. I suppose they could think about another force here. Shell can buy AK armor. So can Sap. It looks like it's going to be the half buy, in fact. Thought maybe we would see a hero AK out from Chelios there, but not to be. So pistol and armor is going to be the way to go.
Pistol and armor, what are we going to see it do? Because we're starting to get into dangerous waters here. Double digits looming. And there's not much to defend against it, as we've highlighted, but there's a little bit of a gap there. I'm sure another... Oh, I say another smoke's going to come on through. They're actually just going to flash over the top. Still a couple of players that need to cross, and by that I mean just one, but maybe a little bit of outside presence just to punish, who isn't a bad thing. And talking of punishing, Chell again, the genius to step up. Keen, oh, might be caught looking the wrong way. Actually, just about missed him. If they looked even further, they might have found a lovely pick there to equalize. And now Keen, gun needs to be back out. Can't be tussling with utility right now. And oh, he's found another.
Maybe it's not going to be enough. ASAP and Slimy trying to hold the fort right here. Time ticking away from SemperFi. They are finding it difficult to find these last couple of kills, but they've got smokes up. They've got one on the bomb, and the defuse is in here now for Shady. He's just going to have to sit it and hope, and he's going to be able to get away with it. 10 and 5. SemperFi get away with another one. Shady will not get away with his life, but importantly, the round is secured, and there's enough money in the back pocket for SemperFi to keep on buying. So, yeah, some good damage done from Rooster, but the reward really isn't quite there.
Yeah, there's only so much we could talk about economic damage when you need to just be putting rounds on the board, because economic damage is only good if there are rounds still left to play. And we're getting to the point of no return. Keen's got the AWP out, which is always a worrying sign if you're up against it. Holy Spray is not going to find anything again. A little bit of missing smoke there amidst the wall outside, but they're not going to be using it to cross just yet. Hazza going to be the first tested. HE to go in to try chip away at them, but nothing to be found. Chell, again, the only one who seems to really want this. The only one who's digging deep to find these frags, and he's got an opening, and it's monumental.
Addict pushed away by the Molotov. Grenade there as well to do a bit of extra chip damage. Could come in handy later on for Rooster, but doubled up Shady and Addict. That is a fearsome duo. And Terry's just gone floating forward with the bomb. I don't know what that decision is, but that is really problematic now for Rooster. Hazza comes down the vent. Savage has dropped in the meanwhile as well, but still Shady on this close line. Slimy might lose his life here. I don't think he's expecting Shady. All it will take is Shady just strafing a little bit further to the right, and he'll spot the shoulder. He'll win that duel anyway. Addict as well has got himself one in the meanwhile, but he is very low on HP, and that bomb has finally been retrieved. So, heart-stopping moment for Rooster for a second there, but it looks like they should get away with this one.
Yeah, they should have no issues here. Addict 3 HP is not even going to be able to... You sneeze on him and he will just keel over. So this might just be the call to find somewhere safe. Slowly plodding along in towards Trophy. Maybe he looks for an exit, but they've not really got too much money, so this AK is going to be crucial in the next round. And that's the thing, is that we talk about economic damage, they don't let this round go to waste. They've got an opportunity, and actually the money's not going to be great. So Rooster, they bought themselves a little bit of breathing room in the next, and a little bit of padding away from that all-important map point, series point now.
Still a bit of a ways to go. It's going to have to be a pretty good damn T-side. Yeah, Shady, if he would have been able to double down here, that was round over and done with. And attack pause, of course, attack pause. Just as it starts to get interesting.
It's like clockwork, isn't it?
It is. You get the opportunity to sit and think a little bit longer.
Right. To sit and stew with their thoughts, which maybe not a bad thing. SemperFi, they've got to come up with a plan here. Is that my worry is we're going to see a repeat of Overpass, right? Is that there was an amazing start and we're like, oh, okay, it's an amazing start, right? And then what happens is a couple of missed rounds and economic damage along the way means that SemperFi now kind of losing a lot of the really large lead that they had. They lose this round, that's, 10-7. Finally, they got guns properly online. If they lose that 10-8, suddenly there's no gap at all. And it looks like Rooster's coming back into this, and just denying them the opportunity to really make a mark on this map is going to need to come in swift and soon.
ASAP is trying to get a little bit cheeky on outer while the rest of the team focuses toward ramp. Just going to get a couple of members headed in his direction to back him up, but it is ASAP that is leading that push. Big wall of smokes, though. And he's been able to make it down secret. Meanwhile, though, TJP does get picked off. So it's not smooth sailing at the moment for Rooster.
Okay. Addict with 2. What a way to start this. Not much weaponry coming into it. And we said don't let them have a comeback, and that's exactly the way to stop any funny business and keep hold of your lead. Keen with another. And now Chelios has been absolutely incredible. He's got the bomb down again somehow, but it's going to run face first into Hazard. And unfortunately, not quite lining up the no-scope there. Have to wait for the flames to die down, but they've got all of the time in the world to play with.
Yep. Like I said last round, this is not just map point anymore. This is series point on the line for Rooster. 1 round to go, and then SemperFi will be 1 round to go. And that is not a good feeling for Rooster to be in at this stage when, apart from Chell and maybe Terry, money is starting to get a little bit tight. So we're going to force a buy through. Of course, we're going to have to at this stage. But Rooster seems like they're running out of steam.
A little bit here, and it's kind of, there's been a couple of individuals that you'd love to see just a little bit more on a personal level. You never want to rag on any one individual too much, but you know, a couple more frags. Terry's had a pretty slow series all around. And on that first map towards the end, he really stepped up, and that was a really integral part of why actually we've even seen this go a 3rd map.
Well, all eyes on Terry at the moment. But it is going to be Chelios that will open the account, wins the AWP duel against Keen. And gets himself another one onto Addict. I mean, this is... it is just one of those rounds, right? Like, this is a Chelios round. He just activates and kind of wins the round for you, although it's not over yet. Savage is going to get aggressive into Hut here as well. He's going to try and push somewhere else on the map while they're losing space elsewhere. And Slimy should be going down here. Tech9's not going to be able to stand up against the AK. Hazard is also able to find a frag, and we're straight away back to a 2-on-2 as Savage gets another one onto ASAP.
You've got no idea.
Might as well just win the round himself.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've got Shady as backup if needed, but it's not. And Savage really, really stepping up in this series. Some lovely picks, very clean, and hugely impactful as well. They can even go weapon shopping, skin shopping if they'd like, with all the time they have for this defuse, and that puts them up to map and series point. 6 opportunities to close this out. A couple more than we saw on Overpass, but oh, that is the tracking on that.
Yeah, that's a crazy kill from Cho. Jumping, and then just as he lands, he gets the shot across. And this is a nice clutch from Savage. I mean, it wasn't necessarily a 1vx. I mean, Hazard was still alive, but he's essentially done that himself. 12-6, and it seems like it is time to say goodbye to Rooster for yet another ESL Challenger League Cup. This would be 3 in a row from SemperFi if/when they win this, and that is very close to sealing a position at ESL Pro League. They need to win 1 more cup, but it definitely feels like that is a formality more than anything else at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, might as well hand it over now. They are looking unstoppable. A little bit shaky, that's why we've gone map 3, but this map has been a sequence of trials that they have just been succeeding at every single step of the way. They've already taken lobby control. That's so much information. That's so much space to work with. And now it's just whittling down the options. Savage on high alert off the back of this information.
Oh, there we go. Across the board, kills coming on through. TJP is the last man standing. And he is holding on for dear life. 9 and 13. It's not going to be enough to get them through this. He would need to get to 13 and 13. And he's got only a Mac 10 to do it with. He's got 18 HP. He's tucked in a corner. There's util being tossed at him. And I think he's given up. He's gone for the knife kill inside the smoke. No, he's gone for an AK inside the smoke. He doesn't go down without at least an attempt at a fight, but it wasn't much of a fight, unfortunately. And that is once again SemperFi winning another ESL Challenger League Oceania Cup, 3 in a row. The hat trick has been secured.
3 down, 1 to go. And we were talking about it. They've won their 3rd, and every cup they win is one less opponent that they have to face in that regional final. If they win the 4th, there's no competition. They automatically qualify, and they put themselves in really good stead to do so. The only team that's really been testing them like this has been Rooster, and we've just seen them dispatch. So that final cup, if they can storm through it, I think they absolutely deserve that singular Pro League spot.
Yeah, 100%. And they're starting to look better and better, obviously, with the additions of Hazard and Addict feeling like they're really integrating now. Here's the overall bracket. Couple of surprises in there. Obviously, Mindfreak making it as deep as they did might not necessarily have been expected. Fury also overperforming Ground Zero, who unfortunately did run into Rooster. So when we run it back for cup number 4, imagine that there is a bit of moving and shaking that can be done toward the middle of the pack, but SemperFi, I think, very much expected to stay at the top there. Another grand final win for them, though they were made to work for it today by Rooster.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a good way. I don't think you ever want to run through these cups with no resistance, because there's nothing you can really learn from just stomp after stomp after stomp after stomp, right? Having opponents give you that little bit of resistance, that little bit of pushback, gives you a chance to actually test out your strat book, gives you a chance to stay warm, stay crispy, so that when you go into the regional final or when you go in towards ESL Pro League, that you've not just had an easy run and nobody that's really made you stop and think.
Yeah, 100%. Rooster, on the other hand, I mean, who really knows where they're going to go from here? If TJP and ASAP do depart this roster, then it is going to be very, very tough to replace those 2 individuals. I don't think that there's a world where you can really get a like-for-like replacement. So it's probably going to be a downgrade across the board for Rooster. It will take some rebuilding, but we'll find out how all of that does play out when we do come back for cup number 4. That is number 3 wrapped up. SemperFi, once again, congratulations. 3 in a row. They pick up another win over Rooster. But that is all for us tonight. We do hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you tune in for the Asia Grand Final. That'll be starting in about an hour. It is the Huns and Rare Adams, so that should be a good one. But until next time, have a good night, and we'll see you then.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, and Kidia.